Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, September 3rd, 2020. This is your award-winning Give Our Nation Media Assassination episode 1274.
This is No Agenda.
Celebrating 56 revolutions and broadcasting live from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the frontier of Austin, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where we're smoking the good stuff. Firs, oak, pine. I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
You got me excited there for a second. I thought, John's finally becoming a colleague. He's smoking the good stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you...
Redwoods, too.
So what does that mean? You just smoking that outside?
Fires, but this place is smoked up.
Are you guys on fire still? You know, that's kind of dropped out of the news.
Well, it's because it's not as crazy. So it's under control.
Oh, okay.
So
what's the containment percentage? You know?
80. The big three fires up here is 80, and about 50.
Oh, okay. Well, that went pretty quick.
Well,
good on those firefighters. It
wasn't like a big wind. If there's a windstorm, this would have been bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially with that temperature, and then, we have those dangers here too. You get a perfect day with a little bit of wind. One spark can set it off. Speaking of sparks, I had a full-on 12-hour Joe Rogan experience yesterday.
You were on the show for 12 full hours?
No. Maybe I should go back to Tuesday. I got my first COVID test.
Oh. That's to go on the Rogan show.
Yeah, Mr. Rogan provided that, so I went to... It turns out his studio is not far from where I live.
Good, you can walk there.
Not quite. So went to the studio, met everybody there. You know, they're still putting the studio together.
Was this after the COVID test?
No, I went... This is on Tuesday. I went there to get the COVID test. So Joe's there and some of his guys, and the studio is still being wired, and it's a lot of stuff going on. And he has two doctors there, and I get two tests. I get the PCR swab in your nose test, which is not the one that goes into your cheek. Which Joe said he's had that 8 times. He says that's really, really shit. It's not a fun test. And I was talking to the doctor, said, is this one of these PCR where they spin it up 37 to 40 times and it has a high likelihood of giving a false positive? They say, yeah, that's the one. So they put that into a FedEx, send it off. And then I get the antibody test, which is a finger prick. And that came back, and it indicates it right there on the little test strip. Within 15 or 20 minutes, whether you currently are fighting, so you're infected, it'll detect that if you have antibodies or if you've had it. And nothing showed up, so I haven't had it, don't have it, and I'm good to go.
Huh.
And what I don't understand, actually, is why these tests are not being widely distributed. I mean, it's annoying.
It has to be availability. It's availability.
Right, but it's just a piece of plastic with a thing in it. I mean, it's nothing. It's a strip and a little plastic block, where you put your bleeding finger in, and then it's like a pregnancy test.
Well, but instead of the rhetorical question, did you ask the doctor specifically that question?
Yes. He said...
What did he say?
He said, I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. Very useful. Thanks, Doc.
I'm sorry, he had the mask on. He said, I don't know. The doctors had the mask on, which was even funnier. And so... saw the new studio, which I think Joe has put out a picture. It's really cool. It's like a futuristic opium den inside of a private jet. It's very, very, it's a tubular.
You lost the brick wall?
Yeah. The brick wall's gone. It's very modern, kind of oriental shades in it. He has adjustable lights, and I saw what was happening. Jamie's his guy basically does everything else for the show, technically and whatever that has to be done. And you and I have moved some studios. We've been around, so we know what it's like when your operation is going somewhere. You're upgrading, and a couple of things happen. One is the engineers will be like, "Oh, cool! There's some money. We got to get a couple of new boxes." All right, so we got to
spend money immediately.
We got some boxes, new boxes, and some cool ass boxes, I have to say. And then so I think they use Black Magic Video, but they also use or used for certain, I think for Skype calls, they use, what's that, TriCaster? Remember those guys, the TriCaster?
Yeah.
New Tech, I think, is what they're called.
New Tech stuff.
Yeah. So those guys decided.
Everybody uses that gear.
Well, they decided to, it's Joe, it's, you're big time now. We're going to send you the really big box. So there's this huge flight case with 12 fans in it that they can't get to work. So I was like, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. So 12:30, I show up and I see Jamie and Matt, who built the studio. I see them walking around. They're sweating. It's fucked. Oh no, it's fucked. And they've got ground loops.
What, did they have the old one to fall back on?
No, because we had all the new boxes. Remember, we were so happy, and we'll just set it up. It's such a common mistake. Such a common mistake. And, the table had, it's all slick with pop-up headphone jacks and cough buttons, but there's wiring for that may have been crossed. I'm the perfect guest to be the first guy in the new studio because
let's bring this stooge on.
Right, exactly. So I'm there. I'm on my knees. I'm troubleshooting. I'm doing test 1, 2, 1, 2. Try. So for whatever reason, the microphones weren't going through the processing. Then they got that fixed. Then the headphones, it just sounded like tin. I mean, this is.
Oh, hi, Joe. It's really nice to be here on your show.
That's how it sounded. So after 2.5 hours of dicking around, 2.5 hours, and we decide, okay, we can record video and audio, but you do it without headphones, which is actually quite interesting to just talk as two guys without the realization, without your own voice booming back at you, I guess. And based on partially a conversation I think you and I had, it was decided it was a good idea to not be the guy from California who comes into Texas and starts his show, and the first thing he does is flaunts our laws by smoking big joints in his studio.
Really good idea.
Yeah, I thought, we're very cool here, but maybe just hold off a little bit before any of that, before people be cool with that, and we talk about guns and stuff. You don't really want that mixture connected. So that's okay. But Joe has a process that I'm now more aware of. I think he's a bigger pothead than I am. And before he gets into these hours of conversation, he likes to prepare. So yes.
I don't want to jump to the end. And I don't want you to stop talking about it. I'm so curious about what was the total length of the show.
4 hours.
He did a show. I was looking at his shows.
5.5. Yeah, 5.5 hours with that.
So I thought you might break the record before. Four's a long one.
We had to go to dinner. 4 was very long.
Did cameras rolling
during dinner?
That would have been better.
No, we were pretty tired by then. So Joe likes to, I'm like, hey man, listen, we should definitely smoke before we start. I mean, that'll get us going. Now, Joe has been moving, so he hasn't smoked anything in a week. He breaks out this blunt, and Joe is like, he takes off. He's lit. And he was like, oh. So we had to wait like half an hour just so everything could kind of get into the right space. And then we start, and I mean, Joe was like an ADD nut job in the first 45 minutes. I'd start a story. He'd be like, all right, Adam Curry, but what about this? I'm like, whoa. And I'm barbecued. So I'm trying to just stay, I'm trying to remember what I want to talk about. I wanted to say, hey man, your listeners are so great. They're quality people. We see them over at our place. And so I was getting bits and pieces out, and then he just shifted something. And then within 5 minutes of the beginning of the show, vaccines. I'm like, holy crap. We're going to sit here like two baked morons and talk about vaccines within the first half hour of this episode. So I was very, very focused, very concentrated, trying to get him towards other stuff. And either this is a fantastic episode where you just can't wait to see what's coming out of our mouths next, or it's quite possible one of those episodes where people go, what are they talking about?
These two guys.
What are... But, when you bring something up with Joe, like the Federal Reserve, and he says, yeah, I heard about Jekyll Island. And so I said, okay, well, let me tell you about Jekyll Island, the Federal Reserve, when it was created. And then within 3 minutes, okay, Adam Curry, and then he just goes off in some other direction. So after about an hour and a half, we're in sync and we're talking about stuff. Sorry, did you say something?
I was counting cars in the Zephyr.
What do we have?
8.
8 cars, slow moving, regular, any bonus?
No, full speed.
Okay, I have to add to that. I have 2 more pieces for our Zephyr Economic Outlook from Sir Joe Cool Design, in addition to related news of massive imports coming. I work in large format commercial vehicle graphics up in Ontario, Scandinavia, and one of the larger trucking companies in our area is buying everybody in sight and has had a couple hundred new tractors coming online. We are striping, lettering, and wrapping the fuel tanks on 2 to 3 new KW T680s a week. The company is Contrans. And one more piece. Working in the auto manufacturing sector from other producers, I can tell you most of the large injection molding machines and assembly line equipment are made in Europe. Maybe they're expecting a lot of inbound manufacturing hardware. Also, we get a lot of bits and parts and pieces from other companies around the world to create the parts we make that ultimately go into a finished automobile. So something is going on. Imports coming, people are getting ready, stuff is happening, and an 8-car Zephyr.
All hell's about to break loose.
Oh, fuck me. God damn it.
Now what?
The recorder stopped. So that whole opening I missed. So somebody hopefully recorded that, send it to me, because we're going to keep going from here. Let me just, hold on a second, John. Let me just confirm we got, someone has a backup. I don't want to have to do that again.
Nick the Rat comes to the rescue.
Somebody does. Hold on. Does anybody have a backup? Just let me know right now so we can continue, or we have to start over. Darren, good. Darren-O's got it. We're cool. Okay. We can
of course
continue.
He does.
Of course he does. Fucking A.
Of course he does.
There's
Why
20 people who've got it. But Darren, thank you, man. Just up until there, if you can spin it off and send it to me, that'd be great. Love you, mean it.
Love you, man.
Yeah. So we actually had to take two bathroom breaks during the show. And
4 hours is
it's long. Yeah, it was long. But we got a lot in there. We really did.
So it's either the worst show or the best show.
Yeah, I mean, or
it could be just another show this Joe Rogan has. Could be another show. As long as you got your plugs in there.
Oh, let me see. I got the No Agenda. He was mentioning No Agenda by name, so that was nice. So we got No Agenda in there. I got the Podcasting 2.0, which was kind of fun because I'm like, well, it's great that you go into Spotify, but we have a huge vacuum out here, Joe Rogan. So we have to have more Joe Rogans. Don't take any offense while you're over there. And so that was kind of fun to do on the Spotify show. I hope they won't have a problem with it.
Did you bring up the fact that they've quashed a number of his shows? They're supposed to carry them all, but they took a bunch out.
Yeah, so I can tell you, first of all, it's not my business to tell anybody what's going on with his deal, but... No,
I know. I'm just trying to cause trouble. I was hoping
you're causing trouble. But it's not that Spotify... they had certain agreements about certain things, and Joe has certain things he wants kept for a separate... entity. That's about all I can say. So it's, I'll put it this way.
Premium.
No, none of that. Actually, no, not at all. Not at all. It's just, he has multiple parts to his deal. So it's not that Spotify is like, oh, it's a big problem. I didn't see that. But why
personally, when I heard about this, I said, who cares? Who cares?
Thank you. That was my point too. It's like, and honestly, it's great that Joe has now moved to another app, which you can move your finger up and you can open that app and get it. All I'm concerned about is to make sure we can create more Joe Rogans on the other side on different apps. That's all. So yeah, I don't care about that at all. And I find it, he's going to run into problems. He will run into problems, I guarantee you, because that's the nature of the beast. And I think I even said it on the show, on his show. I said, you'll run into problems because you will. And then you deal with it when you get to it. That's the nature of a big deal, Personally, I think they should let him do whatever the hell he wants. He already added $4 billion to their market cap. They should shut up.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen.
But a lot of people will get bent out of shape, and I understand. I understand where people are coming from, but I don't think it's a problem, and I don't really care. And in fact, if he does have problems, well, sadly, that's only better for us. You know, on this side, we know we don't have any restrictions. The only restrictions we have are what people will accept. Well, we actually, if they don't accept what we say, we have a different problem.
Yeah, they start giving us support, and the next thing you know, we're out of here.
So we wrap up the show, and Joe says, "Oh, we got to go to dinner." There's a comedian buddy of his was in town. I forget the guy's name. Nia. And he's currently at the Dave. Did you know that Dave Chappelle is doing basically a comedy club, I think, every weekend in Ohio, outdoors?
Well, he lives in Ohio.
Yeah, I know he does. I know. But he's got a lot. He's got, David Letterman, Jon Stewart, Bill Burr, all of these kind of the whole LA comedian scene. They're all out there every weekend doing shows. It's sold out for, I don't know, the next 3 months. But they're actually doing shows. That. Yeah. I didn't know it. I didn't know anything about it. And then you go to dinner with Joe Rogan, that's kind of rolling with the Rogan. Here, I'll drive. So we drive in his car. And we go downtown to the Three Forks restaurant, which is a good restaurant on Lavaca. And
just you and Joe?
And the comedian guy, I forget his name. Nia. Oh, okay. I think it's Nia. So there's Joe's guys are standing in the parking spot right in front of the restaurant. All right, here's Joe. All right, he just kind of docks his boat there. Everything's all taken care of. The private room in the back is set up. The whole restaurant is on its knees. Hello, 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 hello. He does roll. That's for sure. So a bit of royalty in the Joe posse. So when I got home, it was 11. The keeper was already asleep. So you're actually the first person I was able to tell anything about it. What happened? I know. How sad is that? Oh, those guys indeed. I did bump up against something before we get into any Rona stuff or anything like that, which I actually tried out on Joe because he started. Oh my God, he started about masks and lockdowns, and I'm like, oh man, I got to get this guy off of this because I really didn't want to be oh shoot, what's going on with my mouse? I really didn't want to be talking, that kind of stuff with him. It just seems like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's dumb.
It's just like, what are we going to debate about that? I really didn't see anything. So I had just learned about the Fed Now, which I think I mistakenly called FedNet on his show, but Fed Now. And I just wanted to lay this out on you because no way did it come out properly on his show. But on August 6th, the Federal Reserve launched a new payment system in the United States. It was launched without a lot of fanfare, and I think this is connected to that quantum financial system and the quantum financial initiative that I told you about, that people are all jacked about, and there was some blockchain thing and the off-world servers and all that, which would replace SWIFT, if you recall.
Go on.
So I start looking at this new Fed Now, which is now operational, and some of the things that we're seeing in Congress right now with the negotiation for the next bailout package and some post office business. And I have a theory that I want to share that I think that something may be coming. And we'll start with Federal Reserve Board Governor Brainerd, and she announced just recently on one of their fine Zoom calls the launch of this Fed Now network. And the reason for it, because it wasn't intended until 2021, possibly 22 or 23, the reason for doing it now, why we need it desperately, is because we saw that during the coronavirus, it was not so great when people had to wait for their cash to come through.
The retail payment infrastructure touches every American. That's why 1 year ago, the Federal Reserve committed to build its first major new payment system in 4 decades. Although no one anticipated at that time the challenges our nation would soon face, the COVID-19 pandemic has heightened the urgency and importance of delivering a resilient instant payment system that is accessible to all Americans. The pandemic is taking a tremendous toll on communities across America, especially households and small businesses with the least liquid resources to weather the storm. Emergency relief payments authorized in the CARES Act provided a vital lifeline for many households. After sharply reducing their spending early in the crisis, many households increased their spending starting on the day they received the emergency relief payments and continuing for the following 10 days. The urgency with which the emergency payments were spent underscores the importance of immediate access to funds for many households and businesses that face cash flow constraints. The CARES Act payments were disbursed to households using direct deposit, prepaid debit cards, and checks, which can take several days between the time the funds are sent and the times recipients can access those funds.
So that's the justification for accelerating this, because when the next package comes, we need to be able to get it to you quickly, and we should probably have this anyway because it's going to benefit everybody.
By contrast, instant payments could have helped reduce the strain for those who needed the funds quickly in order to meet financial obligations. The same is true for other payments intended to provide immediate assistance, for example, after natural disasters. In good times as well as bad, instant payments will enable millions of American households and businesses to get instant access to funds rather than waiting days for checks to clear. Immediate availability of funds could be especially important for households on fixed incomes or living paycheck to paycheck, when waiting days for the funds to be available to pay a bill can mean overdraft fees or late fees that can compound, or reliance on costly sources of credit. For small businesses, the ability to receive customer payments instantly could help manage cash flows when working capital is tied up in materials or inventory. For the 1 in 10 Americans who regularly work in the gig economy, getting immediate access to the payments for their work could help address their cash flow constraints when money's tight.
Okay, so they're clearly targeting all slaves. But what's interesting is this bypasses the whole banking process. It goes straight from the Federal Reserve into your digital wallet. And
This is no good.
Well, it gets worse. And as a reminder, what is the one thing we actually lost during this Rona shutdown crisis? We lost cash. We lost coins. We lost cash. It was dirty. Thank you, WHO, for showing us all those videos of the Shanghai bank cleaning their money for the dangerous coronavirus. And we all went, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Money could be dirty. There's lots of dirt on it. I don't know. Let me use my phone against my face to tell people not to use cash. So that's gone, and we don't care, and we're done. We're done with it. We're done with cash. It's over. So now there are two things happening. This ongoing negotiation about the next stimulus. I am now considering that, and Mnuchin is in. This is Mnuchin. He's being grilled on in Congress about what's going on. I think they are trying to make sure they have this digital dollar. This through the Fed Now network, they want to have that ready to roll out the next stimulus. And there's another bill, which is the Banking for All Act, which is it's going through the houses now. It may be a part of what some of these meetings and committees are doing, especially Maxine Waters is on the Financial Committee, so I guess you can get anything by that goat. The post office will be the place that if you do not have a computer or a phone, that you will go to get your digital wallet. But every person in the United States, and I guess business, based on either social security number or, can you turn your speakers down just a little bit? I can't quite filter it out. Your social security number or your tax ID number, you will have a digital wallet assigned to you. And if you are unbanked, you will go to the post office with, your social security number and proof of identification or where you live, and they will give you a debit card, which in fact will be this direct connection to the Fed. This becomes very interesting when you look at the Federal Reserve and their job of keeping inflation in check, keeping it within what is our target, the 2%, by controlling the money supply and the interest rates. So actually, here is this is a Lynette Zhang. She's a trader, and she talks about this August 6th launch and what the benefit is to the Federal Reserve if they can put money in and, of course, digitally take money out, thereby working on the manipulating the interest rate and what we call the economy. Well, you have a listen to that.
What has happened actually on August 6th is the Fed Now account has been formally announced, and they're beginning to implement it through every commercial bank. So again, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, etc., as well as every non-member state bank, credit unions, and the post office. There is a bill that is currently going through the House. It's the Banking for All Act, and this enables central bank money to replace traditional accounts where you and I might make that deposit, but the central banks will actually be able to make direct deposits to the individuals and be in absolute control of their policy. Right now, when they make a policy, it takes like 18 months to go through the whole system, driven by the banks creating money, but it takes 18 months till they know if their policy worked or not. With these new accounts, where the money in these accounts are central bank legal tender, then they have absolute control over the value of the money in those accounts. So with dollars, the current system, they can't go really past 0.00. They have 2 digits that they can go. With the electronic money, it's unlimited.
And this is where it gets real heady for me.
What is she talking about when she says they can't go past 2 digits?
Yeah, I think I understand this. So with the dollar in a bank account, you'll see $0.00. That's the value of your money, just at baseline.
Oh, they're not going to go to 1/100th of a penny?
They're going to go much further with the digital dollar. They can do 16 decimals, and they can devalue your money by controlling the interest rates, but it would only be 16 decimals away, so it goes very slowly, and there's not these big herky-jerky type moves when they change the interest rate. That's part one. Part two is this is where they can do negative interest rates. And this is where they can influence the spending by saying, okay, here's your money, it's in this account, but you know it's negative interest rates, so it's actually becoming less every day you leave it in there, you should spend it. And by the way, why don't you spend it on this house here? We'll give you a mortgage where you actually pay off less than you're borrowing. So it will manipulate, it will fuck with everybody's mind. It will manipulate all kinds of things. And we're going to discover that digital money comes with contracts attached to it. And I think this is all blockchain technology back end. So when it's time for your rent to be paid, it's going to be paid. And I'm sure they will have a mechanism where you can borrow essentially directly from the Federal Reserve, and they will manage your credit, your life. Your life. The apocalypse is coming, and you're going to need a Bitcoin the way I see it.
I think that you're underestimating the power of the big real banks and their ability to push back on this sort of thing. They're not going to put up with this.
Well, I may be. I have no idea. I don't know crap about banking other than what I hear. All I'm seeing is this push. You'll recall the digital dollar was a clause in the original bailout package. Remember when the Democrats put in that, well, here's our 2,000 pages of Green New Deal and diversity and equity and all this stuff, and it had the digital dollar in there, which they wanted, and it was already saying, well, we wanted to be able to transfer it this way. There was some talk of it, and then that went away when they came back with a more realistic bill. So either we see that in this particular bailout, if it happens. And I don't know if President Trump knows about it, if he's on board with it, if he's against it. I mean, Mnuchin is a Goldman Sachs guy. His dad was a Goldman Sachs guy. Who the hell knows? I'm sure the banks know what the hell is going on. I'm sure they have their hands in this pot. It was a big topic of discussion at Jekyll Island, the Fed board meeting last week.
Well, we'll see. I think it may be exaggerated as a problem.
Well, nothing's exaggerated. No one even knows about this yet. This is not being talked about. The only one being interested seems to be me. Believe me, Joe Rogan's eyes glazed over within 2 seconds of this.
Yeah.
You're like, what? What are we doing? I don't know. I have well, it's worth keeping our eye on.
Okay, well, you're doing that.
Yes, I am.
You did mention something about the 2% thing. That thing's done, by the way. We talked about that on the DH Unplugged show.
Well, explain what you mean. I don't know what you're talking about. The 2%.
They're not going to do that anymore. They're going to keep interest rates low.
Yes.
And they're going to average.
That was new. We're going to average. We're going to average 2%.
Average the
I think
inflation.
It's going to go negative. It's got to go negative.
5%. Well, there's no proof that's going to go negative in this country.
No, there's no proof. There's only hope.
Well, you don't want a negative interest rate.
I can't believe that President Trump would want any of this digital dollar business. He seems to me like the guy who definitely wants to keep the American dollar the way it is and protect it at all costs.
He's a real estate guy.
So I don't know if he's in on
New
this.
York City. I mean, come on.
But he's also not a computer guy. So who the hell knows? So, well, we got this. Because he probably is like, but on the other hand, he seems to really understand financial markets and debt. He understands that very well. And of course,
he definitely understands debt.
He understands the pros and the cons. But yeah, symmetrical interest rates. That's the 2% that the Fed was talking about. And it was an average of 2%. Either they think it's going to go dip below or they're going to have some kind of hyperinflation. I don't know why they now say average.
Would run the average up a little bit much.
Yeah.
There's no evidence of hyperinflation. They're cranking out extra money and they still haven't got very little inflation.
Yeah. And I think they'll be able to crank out the money nonstop. There's no problem. It seems to be immunized. It would just be cool if they can give that to everybody in their digital dollar wallet.
Free money.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
let's get back to the news.
Yes. What you got?
I got the NBC Wednesday rundown. If you want to just play, so 1 minute, 17 seconds. All the news fit to print. In the beginning of the show, they tell you what they're going to talk about, and this is all that they're talking about.
Tonight, the urgent new warning ahead of the Labor Day weekend, the make-or-break holiday as we head into fall. Dr. Anthony Fauci pleading with people, stay away from those big crowds that have led to COVID surges, packed pool parties, bars, beaches, and super spreader events. The first death linked to that massive biker rally in South Dakota, and the CDC's new timeline on a vaccine, what they're telling states. On the attack, Joe Biden blaming President Trump for what he calls a national emergency as schools struggle to reopen. The president's pushback today and the new alert about Russia targeting Joe Biden's campaign. Did the Trump administration try to bury it? Nancy Pelosi firing back after video of her inside a salon shuttered by law because of COVID. The House Speaker now calling it a setup. The new developments as a rival of Vladimir Putin fights for his life, what officials now say was used to poison him. The cyber attack on one of the country's largest school districts, remote learning down for a third day, whether your kids are at risk. And the chili challenge that swept the nation, how all that cold cash raised means a major step forward in the fight against ALS.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Damn, ALS is back, huh? The Ice Bucket Challenge.
Well, apparently the money went to some researcher who did something. I don't know.
Oh, they did something. Okay, that's good. Well, that's better than nothing. That's better than nothing, for sure.
So the thing out here on the coast, we might as well bring this up. We're talking about COVID a little bit. Yeah. Was the Nancy Pelosi fiasco.
Oh, my goodness. Do as I say, not as I do.
So I want to play the Pelosi. Okay, let's do the background on it. Nancy Pelosi went into a hair salon inside it. In California, it's prohibited to not wear a mask inside. It's prohibited to even have your hair done inside. The only place you can have your hair done is outside in the wind.
Yes.
That's by the edicts of the state, the rulers of our state.
Yeah, right on.
So Pelosi goes wandering into some hair salon with no mask on, and then she has her hair cut inside. And the story that isn't being told necessarily is one that we got out here because they finally tracked down the owner of the salon.
Right.
And they chatted with her, and she is a young woman who is, she looks like an owner of a hair salon type, kind of.
I've seen her pictures with her husband shooting guns and stuff. So she may be a Trumper.
Maybe a conservative. It's hard to say, but she said she wasn't the one who brought her in. She said she saw the tapes and she was disgusted and sickened, she said, by even seeing it.
Right.
And so she's the one who released the tape.
Yes. Very good.
Pelosi,
we enjoy this. This is very good.
And then Pelosi went on and on about how she was set up. And so here's Pelosi's, the classic. This is the 27-second. Pelosi apologizing, not for breaking all the rules and breaking the law, but for being set up. She apologizes because she was set up. This is unbelievable.
I take responsibility for trusting the word of a neighborhood salon that I've been to over the years many times, and that when they said, well, we're able to accommodate people one person at a time, and that we can set up that time, I trusted that. As it turns out, it was a setup. So I take responsibility for falling for a setup. And that's all I'm going to say on that.
Now you know what has to happen?
Death penalty.
She has to resign from Congress. I demand that she resigns.
Well, this is what is interesting to me is there's outrage, and I think you're right, and this small outrage could get real legs for someone like her, but it's in such contrast to the silence over people living on the streets in squalor around the corner from her house in her district, which nobody talks about. That's a little irksome. This is the news. Oh, this is a really important one. And it's mostly on the right. Works. People, conservatives, Trump supporters, and I'm sure Democrats too. But it's the wrong thing to bitch about. Who cares?
She must resign.
We are a very sick society. The things that she must resign over a lot of things.
Those people are freedom loving. The ones that are living in squalor, they vote for her.
Okay, my mistake.
Yeah,
I got the.
So that's the big news out here.
Yeah, no, it's
on the coast. Besides the fires,
it's big news everywhere. I got Robert Kennedy Jr. was in Berlin. Remember, we played some of that kind of wild audio, but he also did a little press conference, which he said some very good things. It's kind of his standard fare. You know how he got started and how he was interested in mercury, and they learned about mercury and vaccines and. But then he really went quite far into control, how governments want to control you, and he actually, I didn't clip it, but he said, they're coming for your money, digital money. They want to control you. Once they control your money, then it's all over. So it was really going off. And what I'd like, sorry?
He sounds like you.
He's totally 100% no agenda material. He could step right in, except for the voice.
If we could understand him.
Well, what's interesting is, and he even mentioned, he said, as I speak, it gets better. And it gets better as he goes along. Here it is. And he called out Fauci and Gates, which I kind of liked.
We're being told this is the science. But it's not. It's people. It's an appeal to authority. It's science because Tony Fauci and Bill Gates tell us it's science. We want to see the studies. We want to see the studies on hydroxychloroquine. We want to see the studies on whether the lockdown is killing more people than the coronavirus. We want to see real science and real risk assessments. And we are not going to take the word. My father told me when I was a child, people in authority lie. And we all, if we are going to continue to live in a democracy, we need to understand that people in authority lie. People in authority will abuse every power that we relinquish to them. And right now, we are giving them the power to micromanage every bit of our lives 24 hours a day. They're going to know where we are. They're going to know the money that we spend. They're going to have access to our children. They're going to have the right to compel unwanted medical interventions on us. The Nazis did that in the camps in World War II. They tested vaccines on gypsies and Jews. And the world was so horrified after the war, we signed the Nuremberg Charter. And we all pledged when we do that, we would never again impose unwanted medical interventions on human beings without informed consent.
Take that, Dr. Bill and Dr. Fauci, you Nazis. I heard what he said.
He's really on a roll here.
Oh yeah.
He's not gonna get any airtime the way he's going.
Well, I even brought it up to Rogan yesterday. Joe's like, yeah, but he's really problematic. And I just looked at Rogan. I'm like, oh, bro.
What does that mean?
Exactly.
From Rogan's perspective.
It means he doesn't know what the problem is. And when someone says something's problematic, either you point to the problem or you can't point to the problem. So he knows there's a problem, so he says it's problematic. And
is he going to put him on? He should put him on a show.
He would be great on the show. He should totally get him on the show.
He'd do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nobody else is putting him on any show.
Now, that would be a show Spotify would consider an issue. Problematic, perhaps. You never know.
I don't think so.
You never know. I hope not.
They'd get lots of numbers on that one.
Oh, well, I can tell you that.
And Spotify boneheads, they don't even know who this guy, Robert Kennedy Jr. Oh, yeah, he's Bobby Kennedy's son. Yeah, put him out. It'd be great. They don't know who he is. They don't know anything. They're suits.
Yeah. Now, there's an interesting list of people who do want to get on the show, which I can't mention. Very interesting
you don't
list.
have to. You can tease us all you want.
No, I want to just
play
make you all crazy.
For 11 seconds.
Like I got inside info, like I'm on the inside.
Okay, we get it.
Yeah, all right, fine.
This is a good example of the Gates influence. You heard this clip. This is Burks. And this is just a very slip up. She's being asked a question about, how are we going to do, this tracing nonsense, which is going nowhere and never will. But we'll play along. And so here's what she has to say.
Do we have enough infrastructure to contact trace the way that we need to?
I think that's why the criteria that you can see the gates that that the federal government has recommended are.
I'm glad you played it. I just wanted to mention we played it in April. That's how old this clip is. It just resurfaced. That's what's interesting. I found that kind of funny.
Really?
Yeah, because I saw it and I thought it was new too. Now, you don't have the access to the archive that I have.
I know. So, you got the big boys. You can do the big searches I can't do.
Right. But I left it, and this morning when I saw it show up on yours, I'm like, I'm pretty sure we played this.
I'm going to let him play so I can nail it.
No.
I was set up.
No.
I was set up.
No. In fact, I thought I said it very nicely because I thought about how I would respond. And I thought to myself, I'm just going to let him play it, and I'll say, I'm glad you played that. It's good to play it again. That's exactly what I did.
I'm the Nancy Pelosi of the show. I have to quit the show.
You better apologize.
I'm going to do the right thing.
Apologize that I set you up and you fell for it.
I'm going to apologize that you set me up, and then I'm going to quit like Nancy Pelosi should do. She should resign from Congress.
Well, speaking of the vaccine, the FDA has given notice to the states. CDC has given notice to the states to prepare to distribute the vaccine as early as November 1st. Oh!
Bull crap.
This is, it's a troll. It's a troll. It's so obvious. And take into account, the vaccine is problematic. Do you remember the first shot? We had the first shot, the first person ever with the Moderna needle go sinking into her arm, and she's a host on the Houston news program, I think morning program.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, well, there's a follow-up.
4 weeks ago, Don Baker became the first person in the U.S. to get a shot as part of a phase 3 clinical trial for a coronavirus vaccine. And now she's back. Not just for a visit. All right. Take a nice deep breath. But for another shot. That's right. The coronavirus vaccine will likely be given in 2 shots a few weeks apart.
It's like the boxer going into the ring. You might hit the other guy with 1 punch and he might go down, but 2 punches is going to be way more effective.
And that's a problem for several reasons. Many Americans aren't very excited about the coronavirus vaccine.
Oh, no!
According to a recent CNN poll, 40% of Americans say they won't get it. Second, for those who do take it, it's a logistical challenge to have hundreds of millions of people come in, not once, but twice.
There's no question that this is going to be the most complicated, largest mass vaccination program in human history.
People will have to remember to come in the second time. They might have to take time off work twice and possibly experience unpleasant side.
How is this any different than the swine flu 2-shot bull crap? If you remember that, I remember it. We all remember it, where you had to go in and get 2 shots. So how is this any different? Are people stupider now? They can't remember to come in a week later, or what's the deal?
To me, it sounds like a PR campaign to ensure that everybody knows that there's going to be 2 shots, because they need to either. I mean, clearly things not effective enough. Otherwise, you don't need to have a booster. So I thought it was supposed to help your body change.
Not be a boot. Yeah. I don't think it's a booster necessarily. Yeah, it's a binary shot. You need to make it work.
Well, seeing as it's not your traditional vaccine and it's supposed to do something that makes your body change your DNA, you kind of want to have that go right the first time. Let's continue with this report.
History.
People will have to remember to come in the second time. They might have to take time off work twice and possibly experience.
You talk to the punchline the first time, the second time, and it's not going to be funny.
And the third time.
And it's not even going to be funny now.
In the second time, they might have to take time off work twice and possibly experience unpleasant side effects like fever twice. Government health officials are aware that's a big ask.
You might have to suffer pain and fever twice. Great marketing.
Manufacturing end, it's just more complicated to make 660 million doses of a vaccine than 330 million.
Maybe they're going for money.
And it's not just double the vaccine, it's double all the components that go with the vaccine. 2 vials with 2 caps and 2 stoppers, 2 syringes with 2 needles for everybody.
And 2 body bags.
Is going to be daunting. It is going to be absolutely daunting.
For Dawn Baker, rolling up her sleeve a second time was about saving lives.
Maybe they're going for a money call, because it's going to be double now. We need more cash. What do you think? That could be possible. Maybe that's what this is about.
That's an idea.
Gates was shilling for cash. He wanted more money. Remember we had that clip?
Yeah,
so he's working on it.
More money.
He's working on that.
Huh? That's actually a pretty good scam.
The Luke, our knight there, Vonderhelm. He lives in Finland, and he took one for the team. He has now downloaded the Finnish coronavirus tracing app, and that ties right into the new Apple iOS 13.7 with Exposure Notification Express integration. Sounds like something we all need. And apparently Finland is number 1 in adoption. There's over 1 million Finns right away how many Finns are there?
700,000.
No, I think there's more than that. I think there's more than that. Let me see what he says.
I think it's about 4 million, maybe.
Probably. Yeah, so they are ruling. They are rocking it by everybody's downloading it. And we'll see. We'll see where this goes. I guess, even though, it's bullcrap, I think there's still some hope that this digital tracking will work for Apple and Google. I don't know. I don't know what they're hoping for. It doesn't seem like anyone.
I think, again, I'm going to bring this up. I keep bringing it up, but you and I think most of the listeners don't want to accept this.
No.
I think most people go for this sort of thing. They like being tracked. They like being part of something bigger.
Possibly. Yeah, or it's their duty. They feel it's their civic duty.
Just citizen. I'm a good citizen. Yeah. I'm going to get tracked.
And they'll do it without question. And people just do it without question, obviously.
And I might get in line for the 2 vaccines. I'll be back next week.
Meanwhile,
what's wrong with these 2 guys bitching and moaning?
Well, let's take a look at Australia, who have really taken an interesting approach. They
arrested some other poor woman for something she didn't do.
I have a clip. Now, this is a woman in Victoria. She's in her house with her family. She got a couple kids, and she's pregnant. Which, okay, I mean, whenever a news story says, they arrested her in front of her kids, I'm like, fuck off, okay, whatever. Oh my God, in front of her kids, they'll be scarred for life. No, they'll be okay.
Let me interrupt. There was a report on the guy that was shot up in Kenosha.
Yeah, in front of his kids. It's always that. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's actually a shitty way to report. I don't care what the report is about. It's all.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
That's just to get clicks. It's totally unnecessary. So what she did is she put together and this is Victoria, state of Victoria in Australia, where they're on lockdown, and they're very serious about it. What you can do, where you can go, how long you can go, how far you can go. It's a real shut up slave moment in history. And she had posted she wanted to organize an anti-lockdown protest. And I don't
like they're having everywhere in the world, but here and there.
Right. And she did it on Facebag. And now there's a lot going on in this clip. So the cops come in, they start, hey, you're going to be arrested. And they start to kind of do the Australian version of Miranda rights because she was, well, you'll hear it. She is being arrested for incitement to, I guess violence, but we'll see.
You guys are doing this. Yeah, you can show me your search warrant before you go through my house.
You're the occupier or tenant? Yeah, I own this house. That's a search warrant.
Search warrant for what?
Now, what I will explain to you is if you want to listen, you got your phone going?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Right. Now, you're under arrest in relation to incitement.
Incitement?
Yeah. Now, you're not obliged to say or do anything, but anything you say or do may be given evidence.
Excuse me, incitement for what? What on earth? Yeah. Excuse me, what on earth?
Just put your phone down.
Can you, record this? I'm in my pajamas.
What's this?
Ultrasound in an hour.
Yeah, she's pregnant, so... We'll take it easy. What's this about?
I have an ultrasound just in an hour.
Let me finish and I'll explain. It's in relation to a Facebook post, in relation to a lockdown protest you put on for Saturday.
Yeah, and I wasn't breaking any laws by doing that.
You are actually. You are breaking law. That's why I'm arresting you in relation to...
How can you arrest her? That's... In front of my 2 children.
Can't you just say to her, take the post down? Like, come on.
I'm happy to delete the post.
I thought this was weak. Can't you just say take the post down? Oh, come on. And that, to me, was sad. That's the real sad part. Oh, Mr. Officer, I'll just take it down. That, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you can have a big mouth, but you gotta stand for what you really believe in. I thought that was sad. I understand they're afraid and it's scary, then all that happens, but this is reality. And other people should not be bitching about it in front of their kids, but the fact that it happened at all.
Yeah, that's fine, but my 2 kids are here. I have an ultrasound in an hour. I'm happy to delete the post.
You also have the right to communicate with or to communicate with a legal practitioner. Do you understand those rights?
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is a bit unfair. Come on, mate. No, what about she just doesn't do the event? Like, it's not like she's done it. Well, she made a post. Already committed the offence. So I'm not going to... So that's an offence. Now, the search warrant entitles us, and we're required to seize any computers, any mobile devices you have.
Ridiculous.
You're not taking my phone.
Oh, yeah, we are.
That's my phone. It's nothing to do with her.
And boom, we took his phone. And his phone is gone. Yeah. But of course it was incitement. And I think it was good. It was good that she did that. But instead of everybody saying, hey, let's do this thing, let's show them that we mean business. No. They're afraid. They're very, very afraid. And it's affecting people worse than I've seen it. This is the latest update on the measures
Victoria has recorded its deadliest day of the pandemic yet because of a technicality. Of the 41 deaths added to the state's soaring tally, 8 people lost their lives in the past 24 hours. Mark Santomartino explains.
No matter what killed them, every person to die after testing positive for COVID-19 now counts to the state's death toll. 41 deaths were added to Victoria's tally today, increasing the total to 565. It's the state's biggest jump during the pandemic so far and includes 8 who lost their lives in the past 24 hours and 33 aged care deaths dating back as far as July, which hadn't been reported yet.
I'm sorry, it was the wrong clip, but I let it play anyway. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about very low numbers inflated by statistical errors and reporting errors. Here's what they're actually doing.
The state of emergency in Victoria is about to be extended for a further 12 months. Maybe. But what does that actually mean?
Maybe, he even says, maybe. 12 months, maybe.
Well, the good news is Dan Andrews and the mainstream media have this issue mostly correct. It is true that to have forced isolation, restrictions on gatherings, mandatory face masks, all require a state of emergency to be both valid and enforceable. But as with most things, the devil is in the detail. Let's have a closer look. The exposure draft bill that the government has circulated intends to make 3 important amendments to the Public Health and Wellbeing Act. In the back of this act are sections 198 to 200, which together create those pesky emergency powers that everyone is talking about. Section 199 stipulates that the emergency powers can only be exercised if 2 conditions are met. First of all, there must be a valid state of emergency, and second of all, the Chief Health Officer must believe that it is necessary to exercise those powers to eliminate a risk to public health.
So that goes on for quite a bit. But what Dan Daniels says is, well, we have to have COVID normal, which is not 8 deaths a day. It has to be less than that. I mean, this is good. If we can keep it there, that's COVID normal. Well, here he is.
I think people in Melbourne know and understand that Melbourne is in a different place, the science and the presentation of the virus is very different in metropolitan Melbourne than it is in regional areas, and keeping those numbers low in regional areas is very, very important, not just to us in a kind of strategic or academic sense. It's absolutely critical to us being able to open the whole state in a steady, cautious, but in a progressive and sustainable way, each step after the other, and then locking in that COVID normal that, as I said, and I can only stress this again, a COVID normal that lasts for months, not just a few weeks. That sense of control and stability that I think, and business certainly tell me, is critically important to the most effective recovery and repair that we can possibly have.
Several months of COVID normal.
Well, that could be never.
Exactly. It is meant to be never.
But what is the point? What good is it doing the Victorian government to do this?
Control
what
money.
What do they get out of it? There's the extra money in their pockets.
The only thing I can think is China. That government in Victoria has deep ties to CCP. They have the Belt and Road deal. I think they have the 5G deal. They be bitches to Beijing.
Yes, but again, how does China even benefit from the shutdown? They already got the deals. They already got the Belt and Road. They already got them in their pocket.
Okay.
What does this accomplish?
May I give you one option? Let's take a look at New York. New York clearly pre-owned by China. Look at New Year's Eve. Cuomo clearly saying they did not come from China. It came from Europe. And now China, after New York is broke, completely falling down financially in ruins, what does China do? Hey, borrow some money from us. Why wouldn't that be the same? That is their strategy. Why wouldn't it be the same in Melbourne? Melbourne's an important city.
So they can get them to borrow some money from them?
Yeah, which they can't pay back. Which they can't pay back, and then they own it like they've done throughout Africa and other countries in Eastern Europe.
As a sovereign nation, they can nationalize the debt.
Okay, well, fine. You're asking me, I give you my opinion, and how's it working out for Africa?
My opinion, I think this is, I don't know what this is. It's beyond me. I mean, I understand the Chinese connection, and there's one in New York, obviously.
Well, could New York, we could nationalize New York's debt? Is that what you're saying, if they take money from China?
I think so.
But why would we do that? Why would we do that? I don't want to pay for that. I don't say
that we would, but
no,
exactly. New York's paying a bunch of money to China. I still don't see what's the long game here? It's just this situation in Victoria. Let's just stick with that because that's the extreme. I mean, it makes no sense at all. It's crazy, actually.
Let's go back to Robert Kennedy Jr. People in authority lie, and they will do anything for power, for control. The Dutch, now I finally figured out what the problem is with this emergency law that they're trying to pass, which would allow for immediate switch on of 1.5 meter society distancing, masks, etc., and that would be codified in law going forward, just in case. I finally figured out what the real problem is. They've created 12 super mayors. So instead of the mayors reporting up through the all the way up to the first house, to the parliament before something gets to the second house, the lower house, trying to make an equivalent. Now they report regionally to these unelected super mayors, and they communicate directly back to Parliament. So they bypassed an entire part of the parliamentary system.
Well, who elects the super mayors?
There's no one. They're just appointed.
Oh, this is just like an EU model.
Yes, it's an abstractive EU model where you got 12 guys and ladies, I think there's a couple of women in there. They're managing everything, but they weren't elected, and now they're in charge of their little regions. Well, no wonder the Dutch are pissed off about it. That's not okay. They're changing the actual system. And then the Dutch president of the Dutch central bank, I'm reading this from the newspaper. Holland will have to hand off its sovereignty to Brussels. There is no other way forward. That's it. It's
that's got to go over.
It's like one paragraph.
The Belgians run the place.
It's one paragraph. It's like, yeah, that's too bad. We have to do it. Otherwise, it's really bad for the euro. What's bad for the euro is going to be bad for us. Oh, my brother.
That is unbelievable. And then you slip it in?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But no, they do it in the one little...
Isn't this what we've been talking about all along since the get-go about the European Union being trying to turn into one super state with no sovereignty between the old countries?
Pretty much.
You beat down the local culture until they don't think it's important anymore. You talk to kids, give the kids a bad education so they don't understand what the country's all about. Make it so they're all globalists, which we're doing in this country as we speak, as we're doing the show.
Let's talk
and then
about
the kids,
that.
I don't care. I don't know. Washington, Lincoln, who are those guys? That doesn't make any difference.
They're racists.
We're one big happy family worldwide. No borders, no nations.
Yeah.
I mean, how is this any different than, it's sick?
Build back better.
Build back better.
Well, speaking of that, this is Libby Emmons. She is the senior editor of the Post Millennial. No idea what that is, but she showed up and she talked about these teachers who want privacy from their distance learning students, parents. They do not want the parents listening in. There's many different reasons that are cited for them not wanting this. I like this one. I like this one the best.
There was a school district in Tennessee that made parents promise that they would not look in on the Zoom calls, that they wouldn't be monitoring them. They made them sign off on a paper. There was a teacher in Philadelphia who was tweeting about how he's worried that conservative parents are going to get in the way of his indoctrinating students into critical race and gender theory. And in fact, when I noticed that my son's teachers were doing the same kind of indoctrination about white privilege and critical race theory and all of this stuff, they were very dismayed to discover that I was paying attention and that I wanted to know what the deal was with all of this stuff. Parents need to be paying attention to what their kids are learning in school, and I think for too long, parents have just been trusting that the educational system is teaching history and teaching science and teaching normal things, and instead what's going on is that the entire educational infrastructure from the top down in New York City, it begins with the chancellor, Richard Carranza. They're pushing this stuff into the classrooms. They're pushing it onto teachers and they're pushing it onto students. And what they're telling students is that they're not equal, that some students are oppressors and other students are victims, that they are responsible for an entire system of racism, that they are meant to do something about this in a systemic way. And they're completely forgetting that what kids need to learn is to be kind to each other, to treat everyone with respect, and to learn the accurate history of our nation, and to learn about literature and books and mythology and all of these things without the overarching lens of racism shading everything. Because if you cover everything with the idea that it's racist, that's all you're going to see. That's all the kids are going to learn.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
What about math? How about science and math?
Well, math.
I mean, how about teaching the kids what they're supposed to learn at those ages? They can learn about racism when they're in college.
They do. Math is racist. We've been through this.
Yeah, we did. You're right.
Yeah.
Math is racist.
Yeah.
This is out of control.
Yeah. Well, at least, Rogan said, too, that I said, well, how was the school for you? Because they went completely social justice, BLM, ape crap, and the parents freaked out. I think that was part of him wanting to go.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah.
When you see your kids turning into monsters, you have to, because of the schools, they hate their parents and the rest of it.
It's very easy. Yeah. And that, and I think he was very afraid that if something really went wrong in Los Angeles, you can't get out.
Yes, and that can happen. And you can't get out. You're right.
I think, the 405, you can just see the 405.
If everything goes right, you can't get out.
Even just on a good day. It's sad, but yeah. Holy crap. Well,
I have some COVID clips we should get out of the way.
Okay, yes, let's do that.
Before we get back onto the school thing, which is just is irksome.
Mm-hmm.
I've got here's a nice Democracy Now! Whipsaw. This is the COVID on plasma.
As the U.S. death toll from COVID-19 nears 185,000, the Trump administration is refusing to join more than 170 countries in a global effort to develop a coronavirus vaccine. The administration opposes the effort in part because of the involvement of the World Health Organization. Public health officials warn the move could leave the United States without access to a vaccine if the global effort succeeds and U.S. efforts fail. Kendall Hoyt of Dartmouth School of Medicine said, quote, just from a simple risk management perspective, this is short-sighted. In other public health news, a panel of experts at the National Institutes of Health said there's no evidence to show that convalescent plasma treatment works against the coronavirus. This directly contradicts the Food and Drug Administration, which recently gave emergency use authorization for the treatment. Trump triumphantly made the announcement on the eve of the Republican National Convention. The NIH panel said, quote, convalescent plasma should not be considered standard of care for the treatment of patients with COVID-19.
Oh, my God.
Did you notice the whipsaw?
Well, I was waiting for a clip, so honestly, I was focusing on what the clip would say, and it never came, but I think she said something contradictory at the very end as to what the whole story was about. Maybe I missed it.
Yes, she didn't use a clip. She quoted.
Yeah, at the very
end. She said,
end.
Quote. So this is her style of a whipsaw, which is to quote.
Yeah.
But her quote did not match her
whole story.
Thesis.
Her whole story, yeah.
The story says it's no good, doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then she quotes them saying it shouldn't be a standard of care.
Convalescent plasma should not be considered standard of care for the treatment of patients with COVID-19.
That's very different than it doesn't work.
Not being a standard of care, you're right, is not the same as it doesn't work.
Right.
And this is the kind of thing she does. She does it differently than the networks do. The networks are classier. They got the clips. I got the clips.
So will she ever believe the FDA, or is it just from only when she doesn't like it? The FDA is full of crap.
Number 2.
Thank you. It's behind door number 2, Adam. You know the answer.
We knew the answer all along. You asked the question for no good reason.
I really was interested.
Here's another whip show. Well, the other whip saw is about Kenosha. Never mind. Let's go back to COVID. This is an India report. India now is the new epicenter. Let's get that straight.
Finally.
Russia's become the 4th country to surpass 1 million reported COVID-19 cases. Meanwhile, India is on pace to soon surpass Brazil as the world's 2nd most infected nation, behind the United States. In recent weeks, India has emerged as the new epicenter of the pandemic.
Now listen to this. This is someone sent me this from, let's see, what publication is this? This is from Sky News. Let me see if it's Australia. No, this is Sky in the UK. Headline: Coronavirus infection rate in Texas, a perfect storm. Wow. What are you talking about?
Aren't you in Texas as we speak?
A community doctor warns that some of the most fragile people in the area who were barely holding on have just gone. They're gone. They've disappeared.
So they're just lying to us. People in authority lie.
Yeah, they do. Thank you, Bobby Kennedy, for the reminder. No, it's disgusting. And it's just to get a headline.
Disgusting.
It's just to get a headline.
You're in Texas.
Yeah. The other day I read a headline. Vaccine mandatory for all Texas school children. That's exactly what the headline sounded to me when I read it. And you look at the article.
That's probably what it was meant to sound like.
Mm-hmm. And then you look down.
What vaccine? What vaccine's mandatory for all Texas?
Every single one. You got to be shot up.
80 of them?
Yes, 67. No, I think flu, MR, the measles, rubella, mumps, and of course the when available the corona. But if you look at the article, well, as we know, Texas is one of the many states who do allow parents to opt out for conscientious or religious reasons. Yeah, thank you. So it's not mandatory. That's my point. But people send it to me. Well, Texas. Well, man, talk about your freedom in Texas. Well, did you read the article, dipshit? By the way, that's never one of our producers who does that. They're much smarter. They don't fall.
No, they're the guys who are going to stop supporting us and have never supported us. I want to mention to people.
They will say they never supported us.
These people who support us and not support us. We do have databases. We know who everybody is.
We have information on you.
We have dossiers on.
We have dossiers on many of you. what links you have sent, what clips you have made. We have a dossier.
So it's hard to. There has been a number of people that say, "I've fed up with you guys. You guys are just shilling for Trump."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
you get that. We get some shilling for Trump. Not allowed to have an opinion.
And they actually had been a $5 subscriber for maybe a year.
No, I'm sorry.
It happens.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I mean, you actually wrote a really nice mission statement. We got to get that up.
Oh, yes. We have a mission statement now. I'm having it copy edited by our in-house copy editor. We have a official
before it goes to the website department.
She's anonymous because she works in the business and doesn't want to be outed.
No,
but she does the work.
She's doing the work.
She's doing the work.
She's doing the work.
And when that's complete, we'll post it, and it'll solve a lot of issues. People who have questions, the mission statement will be up there, and. She mentioned that she works for a nonprofit that has a mission statement. She rolled her eyes. I could hear it in a note that she sent me about the mission statement. I said, and I explained why we needed one. That no podcast has mission statements. They should, because it explains what you're really there to do.
I liked it when I saw it. I was like, oh, that's a pretty interesting thing to have, just for people to read. Oh, okay, and it really was our mission statement.
It was our mission.
It's our mission.
And I think podcasters should consider this because you can go off mission and you can, bring yourself back to reality because we're not the Joe Rogan show. Joe Rogan show makes a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got 10 to 12 to who knows how many more listeners than we do. And he does video and he shows daily, which is a huge difference.
And he's got interesting big names, and it's a different format. The whole thing is
totally a different show.
It's an outstanding product.
And, you can't, if people want to do a Joe Rogan style show, go knock yourself out. Good luck.
It's not easy.
It's not that easy.
It's not that easy at all. No, it's not that easy.
So he makes a lot of money because he does a lot of work.
So what was the point?
The point was he needs a mission statement too, and his mission is way different than our mission.
Absolutely.
Our mission is to deconstruct news stories and to bring... Well, you'll see when the mission statement comes out. You'll be amused.
And with that, I'd like to thank you for your mission statement courage and say in the morning to you, the man who put the C in the coins no longer in circulation, John C. Dvorak.
Well, in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. Also in the morning to all ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and nights.
Yes, and we say in the morning to all of our trolls in the troll room as we do a little troll count. Hands up, trolls. What do we got? We have ding, 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 15-10. We're 10 above average. We've got an 8-car Zephyr and 10 more trolls in the room. This is a good day indeed. A good day.
We should mention this is your birthday. Happy birthday, Adam.
Thank you. Thank you, John. NoAgendaStream.com is where you can hang out with all the trolls during the live shows. But first of all, there's a lot of live shows because you hear the stream in the chat room at the same time. You can listen. It's synchronized. It's almost like 4th of July fireworks. It's synchronized. And in there, ask Doug, hit up Doug. People will tell you how to do it for an invite to NoAgendaSocial.com. And that is our federated social network. Gosh, man, your speaker's just down a little bit. It's really, I can't filter it out.
I'm getting. I should get better. I should have
headphones.
Shouldn't be picking up any of that because the speakers are way back there and they're nowhere near to be seen. And I don't know.
Okay. Well, NoAgendaSocial.com. Yes, that is where you can have a good signal-to-noise ratio conversations.
I'm going to move the microphone down.
Oh.
And point it up at me.
Okay.
That should make a difference.
Okay. Thank you. That's very good. While we're at it, let us thank the artist for episode 1273, 1273, False Positive. This was done by Tontanale. And it was the No Debate 2020, which looked like, I guess it was, maybe that's the Biden font. Joe Biden, probably 2020, and so it just turned into No Debate 2020. It was
it was simple.
Very functional.
One I liked.
Yeah, very functional.
You were pushing for something else. I can't remember what.
Yeah, I can. You liked Nick the Rat's elephant. You like that a lot.
I like the elephant, the true rampaging elephant, which should actually be the logo for the Republican Party.
Yeah,
I like that one a lot.
It would. Yeah, they should get that from Nick. I thought there was something else I liked. I can't remember which one.
You like the ones with the needles, or
no. I didn't like the needle. The magic vaccine. I thought that was okay. No, it was a tough one. It's just not always easy. It's not always easy to do it, to select, and it's certainly not easy to create.
I picked Tanta Neal's art for the newsletter, and I wanted to talk about that for a second, which was the one on page 2 at the top, which was the douchebag, and I had to run that through image recognition to see if that was, because it's so unlike his other her.
Oh,
his,
really?
I'm not sure.
I think it's a her. You thought it might have been Bogative?
Well, it was way over the top slick. Much more so than the usual art.
Now, which one was this? It was the same artwork, or is it a different one? The No Debate.
It's the one that's on the top of page 2 on the far left.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see which one it is.
It's the laughing icons.
Yes.
From
with the globe
from Europe.
With the globe, yeah.
So I would like to know. I would remind people that we have to be careful about using other people's.
So you thought it was. So you confirmed that it was original art?
Well, I couldn't find anything like it, so I would have to assume so.
Good. Build Back Better, Black. That's a good piece. That is a good piece. Yeah, sign up for the newsletter, people. You can sign up on any show notes page. It's available everywhere. And
well, artists should definitely sign up so they can see if their art gets picked.
And a big shout out to Tim, who has done the new website, noagendashow.com.net. And he's now added a search on each episode page where you can search the transcript. Oh, my God. It's crazy. And we'd like
sounds it.
Yeah, noagendaartgenerator.com. We love our artists. We love the attention it brings to the show, the excitement it generates for people seeing a new episode. It's not just the same old art and some words, a title. It actually is something that gets people's attention. We think it's incredibly important and of very high value, so we appreciate that. That's why we give you a credit as the artist for episode 1273. And here are executive producers and associate executive producers who have supported the show financial.
Well, this is a birthday show, so we're going to have some good numbers here. And you're what? You're 56 years old today.
That's correct. Today, 56.
And we start off with, and people are so happy to say happy birthday that we start off with anonymous.
Happy birthday, but I don't want you to know who I am.
Yeah, that's pretty much the story there.
Love it. Love it.
So anonymous says, it came in at $1,274.56.
Wow. What is this number for?
I have no idea,
it's the episode.
He doesn't have much to say.
No, it's episode.
Anonymous, happy birthday, Adam.
Hey, it's an episode, 1274.
1274. Happy birthday, Adam, and happy Thursday, John. No jingles, no karma.
1274 for the episode, 56 for my age. Thank you, Anonymous. Yeah, thank you. Wow, that's very kind.
Troll room for that.
No troll room, just me.
Otaku, Sir Otaku, the Duke of the Northeast Texas and the Red River Valley from Louisville, Texas, came in with another 1274. So we have two
episode
show club members.
Jeez, that doesn't happen very often.
We've had a show club member for 6 months.
That's longer, maybe. Wow, thank you so much. See, short comment. Happy birthday, Adam. Earlier this week, I canceled my NHL season tickets due to the game walkout, so I thought I would send a portion of the refund to help with the show. Wow. That's just a portion of the refund. I hate politics in my sports and would rather listen to the two of you.
I agree.
A lot of people feel that way. That's why I've always stayed away from sports. I knew it would suck eventually. I hate politics in my sports and would rather listen to the two of you anyway.
Yeah.
Notice no S. Now that barbecue competitions are going strong again, we know who this is. I need some JCD mac and cheese karma as I get ready to compete in 2 back-to-back state competitions in Northwest Texas this coming weekend. Hopefully, I'll get a call to help defray the costs of competing. John, I need to send you my award-winning competition recipe so you can try your hand at some one-bite wonders blessed with smoke and great flavors. 73.
I am all in. Don't forget John at Dvorak.org. Just send me the recipes and I'll try them out.
And he is Kilo 5, Victor Zulu, Sir Otaku, Duke of Northeast Texas, and the Red River Valley. And we say thank you very much for your courage. And 73 from Kilo 5, Alpha, Charlie.
I like cake.
Oh, that's not the one I wanted.
I like chocolate.
That's not the mac and cheese.
You're on a roll today.
Well, it's
fine.
Hold on. He wants it. Who cares? Of course people care.
You're radioactive. Let me get the Geiger counter. Yep,
radioactive.
Living the mac and cheese life. Mac and cheese.
There you go. Got it.
Genius of sound effects. Sir Julian comes in from Morgan Hill, California with a nice big 56.
Wow.
$565.60. That's a pretty good one.
That's great.
Very creative. Happy birthday, Adam. My best 3 quarters also wanted to donate to say thank you for providing a valid COVID death chart since the M5M isn't showing that data. Yes, we had a death chart in the newsletter that was showing the real.
And what is the actual breakdown? What was the surprising?
It's just a loop-de-loop. It goes up. We got the big thing, in the early year. Then it came down, and then we reopened. It came up a little bit, very little. Now it's down to next to nothing.
Right.
But that's official numbers, so that's not the M5M numbers.
Mask up.
So
thank you, Sir Julian.
Karma or anything? Nope.
No, it's just sending it all to me.
We're going to move on to Benjamin Natus, 46315 from San Francisco. I started reading the newsletter thinking I should donate for Adam's birthday. Then I clicked on John's linked Epoch Times article detailing the downfall of New York City. Slowly and surely, I was dragged down. I then closed it and finished John's newsletter and witnessed the amazing elf animated GIF at the end. My spirits were raised.
Oh, nice.
JCD's excellent animations on top of graphs and quality text convinced me that the Baron of San Francisco must reach the next level.
Yes.
With my July contributions of $203.52 and $333.33, I now reached $4,000, given me with this $416.15. Reverend Manning clip will do just fine. Happy birthday, Adam.
Well, thank you so much.
They're saying that all hell is going to break loose and you're going to need a Bitcoin.
So does he get a new title? Is there a title?
Well, he didn't ask for anything, so I'm going to ask him to send us a note.
Yes, with a title.
Because he'd get, I think this is Baron territory.
Something
so
up
he
there,
can pick, Well, he's already a Baron.
No, he's going to be up. He's up higher than that. Yeah, send us a note what you want.
That the Baron must reach the next level. Okay, no, he's got to. Okay, he's still moving up.
Okay,
you can read the next one.
C. Mike in Kansas City. Yes. Actually, he's C. Mike in Kansas City, but I don't know if he lives there. It doesn't matter. Happy birthday, Podfather. Oh, howdy to JCD as well. It was with chagrin and amusement that I heard my friend Adam in Rock Island call me out on Sunday's show. It has been a couple of years since I donated, so I am a bit overdue. Please, dedouche me.
You've been dedouched.
Even more overdue is my becoming an executive producer. I've been a fan of Adam's work since early 2005 when I discovered the daily source code and was instantly hooked on podcasting. I wrote the server-side code for several podcast websites, helped friends start their own podcast, and was even part of the talent ensemble at the Daily Morse Code. Well, that was still a thing. Holy crap. Were we doing? I think we were doing podcasts of Morse code.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, no one got laid on the team. Listening to No Agenda and taking notes about the craft of podcasting, including John's sagacious insights and observations, has saved me a lot of money and time over the years, allowing me to spend that time and money with my smoking hot wife and our nine human resources. Oh, man. Thank you. I thought I was tired after a Rogan. Thank you for the years of excellent media deconstruction and the de facto school of podcasting. It's not for nothing that this is called the best podcast in the universe. And then he says he wants Algos. He actually sent it to me. We're all going to die. He wants an Atlas Shrugged and a special Dvorak.org/NA, which I have here. Any karma to go? No, we're good. He says, love you. Big hair. Hope you win. C. Mike in Kansas City, where the C stands for Chucklehead. Thank you very much, Mike. It's very much appreciated. I'm happy you've been along for the ride, man. And thank you for all you've done for podcasting.
Algos, and more algos. We're all going to die.
Atlas Shrugged.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Cute.
I like the Algos one. That's a keeper.
Yeah, we had it. It's very old, but
I don't remember it.
Yeah. I can tell you when we made
onward
it.
with Sir Future Psychobot in Sylvania, Ohio, $350, and he wrote a note sent it in. Thank you for hosting the greatest podcast universe. I've been listening to No Agenda since episode 1233. I have listened to previous episodes going back to 1221. I would like to provide an update on what is happening in Ohio.
Yes.
All of the sources are from the Ohio State House News going back to May. Some Republican members of the Ohio General Assembly have submitted articles of impeachment for Rhino Governor DeWine, who has become friends with the radical far left. DeWine is not being transparent about the coronavirus statistics and the need for a state lockdown, including restrictions. He's got all this documented with various articles. The mayor of Columbus may defund and abolish the police. Well, that'll be a good one. I'd like to see that. Well, I wish somebody execute this plan. I want to see what happens. The highlighted articles I wish I would suggest reading. He's got a bunch of stuff here, and I looked at all of it. It's quite good, quite interesting. Mm-hmm. Anyway, and he ends. He says, ask Adam if he knows any cultural and or historical references of the practice of pointing at or tapping the forehead in Germany.
Oh, certainly. That's what means you're crazy. So they tap. So if you're nuts, they'll take the index finger and tap right in the middle of their forehead with a pointed finger, like you're crazy. Like we might do to the side, the temple, like a circular motion, like that person's crazy. They do it right in the front.
And there you have it. This show is unbelievable. Dan Smith is up next.
Wait, I wanted to mention, C. Mike, he's in the troll room. He said, it's very interesting, John. That's a very old thing, the algos. C. Mike says, when I sent that to Adam, recorded during a show years ago, and Adam played it, John said he hated it. My, how you've grown.
I doubt this is true.
Okay.
Why would I hate it? What difference? What's hateable
He put hated with emphasis, with asterisks.
Well, he probably was snoozing while I was listening to the show back in the day, and I thought he heard what he didn't hear. But okay, I hate it.
It's aged well. It's aged well.
Maybe it's because I don't hear it. Yeah. Dan Smith in Chino, California, 3:33 in the morning. Gents, I just hosted my first meetup.
All right.
That's
Nice.
And it was an absolute blast. Everybody had so much fun. We want to make it a once-a-month event. Since this is my first donation, I need a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
He wants a shout-out to his smoking hot wife, Donna. And he wants don't eat me, Bo Jiden, jobs, and goat karma for everybody.
Don't eat me, Bo Jiden. You're scary. So scary.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You've got karma.
Sir Gary of Moongate is our first associate executive producer from Lost Wages, Nevada, $256. And he writes, happy birthday, Adam, from Sir Gary of Moongate. Thank you for the nice small note. Nikolai Stepanoff in London.
Wait, whoa. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're right. Missed it. Yeah, you're good. Keep going. Sorry.
Nikolai Stepanoff in London, Deutschland? Is there a London, Deutschland?
There's a Paris, Mississippi.
Yeah, there is. There's a Paris, Texas, too.
Paris, Texas, too, yeah. I don't know. It could be.
23456.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, John. Adam, first time donating since 2015. I'm completing my knighthood. I'd like to be knighted as Sir Nick of the Black Forest. Well, Black Forest, Germany? Probably is in Germany.
Yes, but maybe DE is Delaware? London, Delaware?
It's possible there is a London, Delaware.
Could be.
But I'm sticking with Germany since he used Black Forest.
I'm with you. With the Schwarzwald. That's where my grandfather's from.
Oh, it's I've been there once. It's beautiful.
In der Schwarzwald, ja. It's schön. It's schön.
Can I please request some vanilla vla at the round table?
I have to explain this. Vanilla.
Explain.
Back in the day when I was young in the Netherlands, and they still have it today, but the milkman would bring milk, an actual milkman, and you could also order this pudding, which came in two varieties, like a full milk bottle of vanilla, and it was called Vla, V-L-A, or chocolate, which was half bottle that size, and it doesn't taste like tapioca pudding, but the texture is like that. And back in the day, if I went to my friend's house, remember, this is very, very long time ago when the Netherlands was not the same country it is today, you would have your meat and potatoes, and you had to clean out, you had to eat everything on your plate because dessert came and it'd be like, plop, a big gloop of vanilla fla on the same plate with your dinner still there, and plop a dollop of chocolate fla right on top. It was delicious, but a little weird with the not giving us.
It sounds extremely strange. Anyway,
that's why he wants it.
He continues with, please send a healthy dose of general purpose and job karma for myself and my wife, Natasha. Thank you for the value you provide. Do not read below.
All right. Thank you very much, Nikolai. It's much appreciated. Here's the karma for that woman of yours.
Got karma.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted jobs karma.
Jobs.
So we'll do that
jobs,
for it. Why not?
Jobs and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
A little bit of that, too.
You've got karma.
Baron Foxbat, 222 out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Baron Foxbat here in the Redneck Riviera providing you the beach report. The report says the beaches are open. Rest assured I'm working hard on my tan. Thanks again for all that you do to bring the show to us. Happy birthday, Adam, and I'm much looking forward to John's appearance on the WATP. May I get a jobs karma for a man known as BDS? He's part of the massive layoffs at AA that are happening due to bailout terms expiring. It's all a farce since the work still needs to be done. They're outstanding.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're outsourcing his job.
No.
Great, isn't it? So jobs karma would be much appreciated. For my own jingle, would you play the NYT Fry Woman? I'd much appreciate it. Talking about you know who.
Yep.
Thanks for the show, Baron Foxbat of the Cook Islands.
Yes, we've got her here.
Obviously, I read the New York Times like all day long, mainly on my iPad app.
Jobs, and jobs. Let's vote for
She is
jobs.
the best. What's her name again? Jill Abramson. Jill Abramson. That's her name. The Hummer.
Baron Hawk Scorpio of the Ottawa Valley comes in from Cumberland, Ontario, Canada, 221.47. ITM, Guardians of Reality. This donation is in Canadian dollarettes. First of all, I wonder, what does that mean? I wonder. 224. No, it came in as whatever it came in. It came in at 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that 300, you think?
I'm going to look at it.
We'll bump him up. But you wouldn't have mentioned it. First off, happy birthday, Adam.
Thank you.
I hope the keeper has something special lined up for you this evening. Jingles, Foamer, Hillary Laugh, that's true, and some stereo goat karma plans to do. It pains me to do so, but I must. I need to call out Nathan Barney as a douchebag. Douchebag. Step up, bro. Excellent shows of late. Keep up the great work. Baron Hank Scorpio of the Ottawa Valley.
Yeah, and I just missed that briefly. You wanted the Foamer, Hillary, Cackle. What was the other thing I missed? I missed something there.
That's true, and some goat karma.
No.
Stereo.
Yeah, see, I knew that was something different he wanted. Somehow I missed his. Okay, that's true. And then stereo goat karma, which we have here. And here we go.
Oh my God! Woo! Listen to that horn!
That's true.
Sorry, whatever.
You've got
close enough.
I'm trying here, okay? It's been a...
Sir Scampers in Burbank, California comes in with 21212. Please use some health karma for my folks and an F cancer, dementia, Alzheimer's for my mom since she's beat the first but declining quickly to the other. She's 65. Thanks for all you do, love and light.
Absolutely.
Jobs, and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You've got karma.
Sir Carl with a K comes in from Rochester, New York at 20410. Happy birthday, Adam, and congratulations on another JRE appearance. The first one was fantastic, one of his best episodes to date.
Well, thank you.
The donation is made of 2 birthday donations, 56 and 93. Both of them. We had 2 options here for this show. 93 and 56.
Yep.
93 for 9.3 and 56 for his age. Along with double nickels on the dime, 55.10. He's adding them up. The latter is to encourage JCD to find a podcast to roast with me on WATP.
They're ready for you, man.
I'm loving that podcast clips are now regularly appearing on No Agenda. Well, I think they've always appeared on No Agenda, on and off.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Shameless plug for Who Are These Podcasts. We can be heard at whoarethese.com. It's almost too delicious to believe, my friend. Jingle request, Oreos are addictive, followed by fact check false, and I'll take a karma for my podcast. Thanks, ITM Carl with a K.
And thank you, Sir Carl with a K.
Oreos are just as addictive as cocaine.
Fact check false.
Oh, that went very fast.
You've got karma.
There you go. Karma.
All right. I read the Shauna's, and I will see if I can find Derek's email.
Shauna Benson, $200, associate executive producer. Thanks, guys, for the great information. I was hit in the mouth by a friend earlier this year who needs to be called out as a douchebag, and it's Jason in Austin. Douchebag. I do not need any jingles, but had an observation after the latest show, and I wanted to share it with you, which you don't have to air on the show. Well, why not? I just thought what was interesting about the Pacific Islander New World Order clip mentions the vaccine, and it was funny you played the Bill Gates clip right after, but doesn't all seem possibly connected to population control? Yes. Maybe something is in it to sterilize people. Could be. Oops, our bad. It gets rid of COVID, but sterilizes everyone. Yes, the Africans have this feeling about Mr. Prick. And ironic that they want to start in Africa. No, it's just it's the script. I think all this transgender bullcrap in our schools could be connected as well. If everyone is gay, no one will be having children. Sounds crazy, but something to consider if you haven't. Yes, we've considered that. Actually, I should give a slight mea culpa about that Pacifica thing. So this was the trans person who was hosting the United Nations Pacific We Are the World with the children singing. I did receive a note from Paul. He says, it really is a Pacifica thing. This is not a Conchita Wurst or anything, but a legitimate part of Pacific culture, which is Fa'afafin. Fa'afafin, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, are people who identify themselves as having a third gender or non-binary role in Samoa, American Samoa, and the Samoan diaspora. A recognized gender identity, gender role in traditional Samoan society, and an integral part of Samoan culture. Fa'afafin are assigned male at birth and explicitly embody both masculine and feminine gender traits in a way that's very unique to Polynesia. Their behavior typically ranges from extravagant feminine to conventionally masculine. And so it was more traditional, but the message was still there. We got it. But I think it's fair to say that this is not someone who woke up one day and said, I'm going to dress crazy, but it's part of some tradition.
Adam at Curry.com.
Yeah, I'm just reading Wikipedia, man. That's all I'm doing.
Okay, back to Sir Carl. Oh, no, we were talking about Derek Battenhorst, who came in with $200. Mm-hmm. And he did send a note in, and I have it somewhere. Here's some clips for you to line up, which is Goat Karma, Tourette's guy giggling, and the end of the day song.
Tourette's guy giggling.
Yeah, the Tourette's guy giggling. Or it's not really giggling. It's where the guy does his Tourette's thing. Is one of your favorite clips. ITM, John and Adam. I am a first-time donor, long-time douchebag, and figured it was finally time to chip in. I've been listening since episode 600. That's a long time. And was hit in the mouth by John's regular appearances on the Twit back then. I want to thank Adam for talking about his dealings with Tourette's. If it wasn't for that, I would not have realized that I, too, suffer from a mild version of Tourette's.
Well,
a lot of people don't know they have Tourette's. I have said, and I said it on the interview with him, that I think Scott Adams has it.
Yes, a version.
A version. It's nothing. It's just a couple of blinks, blinky, blinky.
Yeah.
I always thought that I had some weird tics, but never really thought that there were others with the same problem. Can you play a clip of the Tourette's guy giggling so us Tourette's guys can have a laugh? Also, I need some goat karma and part of the end of the day song if possible. The kids love the goat scream. Thank you for all you guys do. I would mention that I'm going to ask you this, Derek. You can send us a note. Are you a neat freak? The question is, it's a better question than that. Are you a neat freak? Or do you think you're not a neat freak, but everybody else thinks you're a neat freak, which is the case with Adam?
No, only you think I'm a neat freak, and thus that is part of the grand. Well, thank you for diagnosing me as with Tourette's because I have features, but that's not the
frequency mode.
What is that?
I don't know. I was going to go on the air. All right.
Well, hold on. So now I got to do some things for him. I got this. That was. I think
that's it.
But what I can't find is the guy saying, "Just so you know, I have Tourette's, and so sometimes I make some uncontrollable noises."
Oh, that's a great clip.
And he does just that. I did do my thing on Rogan right away. I said, "Hey, I'm so comfortable here because I want to remind everybody I am not backing up my data every 3 seconds when I." When I blink my eyes, I have Tourette's syndrome. And it's so nice to say that, because when you say it to the people you're with, everybody relaxes. That's why you need to talk about it with your kids, too. People with kids with Tourette's, talk about it. Talk about it.
I don't know how many people have Tourette's, but a lot.
Yeah. I think it's getting worse, actually. So there's that, and then you wanted this.
But at the end of the day, they're backing him. They're backing. Come on.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, John, if someone wants to get anyone, they can get him.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it's more important that we have entertainment.
At the end of the day.
So you've got karma.
There you go.
All right, our last associate executive producer is Christina Thomas, who comes in from Drums, Pennsylvania. $200, and she says, happy birthday, Adam. Thanks for all you two keeping us producers, all you two do, keeping us producers sane. No jingles, just karma to help me through graduate school. Thank you, and keep up the great work.
Absolutely. I'm going to throw in a goat for you. Why not?
You've got karma.
There you go.
And that'll be our group of associate executive producers and executive producers for show 1274. I want to thank each and every one of them for making the show possible.
And for making me feel like a real birthday boy. It's very nice, all these notes you were sending.
Birthday boy.
And I'm sure there'll be more wishes coming up. Yay! It's good to be me. It doesn't happen often that you got a birthday on a show day. So that's appreciated. Then these titles for you, by the way, I think you could call this the birthday celebration show. But this certainly are executive and associate executive producers of episode 1274 of the best podcast in the universe. And that is a title you can display. You can put it on your resume. We will vouch for you. Put it on your LinkedIn. And just slip it at the bar. Like, excuse me, do you know who I am? I'm a producer, executive producer of the No Agenda Show. Well, you don't want to drink? So you can use that as a tactic and let us know if that works. And please consider supporting us, since we have no commercials or any other corporate money. The only way we can function, and that is proven to be true time and time again, the type of things we discuss will not work in a cancel culture environment, and we don't really care for it anyway. So we just want you to support us. We all produce it together. For the Sunday show, support us at
Dvorak.org/NA.
Thank you all once again for making me feel like a big-ass birthday boy.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Order. Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave.
Yo.
Well, I have a few Biden clips if you want to take a break from reality.
Yeah, I have. Should I play my 2 Biden clips? No, 3. Oh, actually, I have more than I thought. Go ahead. You play them, and we'll see where I fit in.
Well, let's start with his. He gave a speech in Pittsburgh recently.
Yes,
that's his last speech. He doesn't get out much.
No, Joe doesn't.
But he did go to Pittsburgh and say hello.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I got these 2 clips. This is Biden in Pittsburgh decides to double down with the bullshit.
Look, there's a lot to talk about today, and I want to be able to get to your questions, so I'm going to be relatively brief. Number one, there's an overwhelming number of issues we have to deal with right now. But the single most consequential issue you all know is, Mr. Mayor, if we get 4 more years of Donald Trump, it's going to change the nature of who we are, the character of the country.
It's not who we are!
I believe that to be literally true. And so it matters a lot that we focus on what we're going to do and who we're going to pick. And so when I announced for the Senate, I did the same thing when I announced for president, to state clearly why I was running when I announced for president. And that was, there's three reasons. One, it was to restore the soul of this country, because I think what's happened, especially after you saw what happened in Charlottesville, with those people coming out of the woods screeching and their veins bulging, close your eyes and remember what it was on television. And a young woman got killed, and they asked the president what he thought, and he said there were very fine people on both sides.
Oh, brother. They really think this is going to work. I saw a statistic. Let me see where that was. I saw a statistic. Here we go. Most disagree with Baldens with Biden's false memory of Trump's Charlottesville remarks. Let me see. Oh, this is a poll from Rasmussen, which I think is, are they right wing? Or they kind of do the right winger thing?
They're not good.
Their problem. Well, they report 52% of likely U.S. voters correctly believe the president was critical of radical protesters. So, but that may be just the 52% that support Trump. I don't know.
Could be. Anyway, he continues with a little clarification on this with the part two of this clip.
Oh, okay.
And he said there were very fine people on both sides. No president's ever said anything like that. I mean, for real. Maybe
man.
Andrew Jackson said something like it before the Civil War, but literally no president's ever said something like that.
Gosh.
And I said that's one of the reasons I was running, restore a sense of decency and honor. We, the people, we hold these truths to be self-evident. We never fully lived up to those things, but we've never walked away from them before.
That's interesting what he said.
Okay, we never lived up to it. He wants to be decency, but he's going to use a lie to run it. That's his main reason for running, is a big lie.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's.
Now I just want to get these. I'll get my Biden clips out of the way, and then you can.
I'm fine. I'm good. I'm rolling.
Let's go with Biden on COVID. This is the best clip. This is where he's trying to. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, the lives. It's when you think about it, more lives this year than any other year for the past 100 years.
I still don't. I think what he was trying to say was the worst pandemic in 100 years, and
he doesn't know.
He doesn't really know what he's saying, does he? No.
Now here's one this is the clip I thought was the weirdest clip personally, because he keeps talking about shooting straight from the shoulder.
Yeah.
Now, I have looked for this quote from Roosevelt, and every time you try to look it up, unfortunately, they just have all these media, the M5M, going, oh, what a great thing to say, and what Biden said. And I think it's stupid what he said. He's just like, for one thing, he keeps saying from the shoulder, because I think he's thinking in his brain, don't you shoot straight from the hip, and you shoot from the... and he's kind of confuses himself, and this clip, to me, is just a screwball clip, but let's play it.
And how I've decided to come to Pittsburgh to talk a little bit about what's going on right now. In the early days of World War II, Franklin Roosevelt told the country, and I quote, "The news is going to get worse and worse before it gets better and better. And the American people deserve to have it straight from the shoulder. Straight from the shoulder. The job of a president is to tell it straight from the shoulder."
Yeah, I have no idea what straight for the shoulder, this is very odd. Wasn't it Roosevelt who said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself?
Yes, that's his main...
that's the quote, man. Why is he even... I wouldn't even evoke Roosevelt if I knew that quote was hanging out there. Especially the straight from the shoulder.
Yeah, so I couldn't. I've yet to find it. Somebody out there maybe can do deeper research or find
straight from the two-faced pony soldier's mouth.
I guess that would be it.
Hmm.
But so that's Biden in Pittsburgh. I thought it was a disappointment, and he doesn't take questions at all, and staggers off the stage after it does about 20 minutes, and he's done.
Here's one. I think this was from. I think this was when he was at the university, so this may have been the speech before, but this was in the beginning. I caught it right away.
The incumbent president is incapable of telling us the truth, incapable of facing the facts, and incapable of healing. He doesn't want to shed light. He wants to generate heat, and he's stoking violence in our cities.
I believe this to be...
That's from Pittsburgh.
That's from Pittsburgh. I believe this to be the truth wants to come out. He clearly said stroking and not stoking. So I think he's thinking about stroking.
Oh, I got to play it again.
You didn't hear that one? Oh, I heard it right away.
I know that clip. I know I was a clip I was thinking of taking, but I didn't think much of it. But now that you got the gaffe in there, I feel bad about it.
Capable of telling us the truth, incapable of facing the facts, and incapable of healing. He doesn't want to shed light. He wants to generate heat. And he's stroking violence in our cities.
Jeez. That's exactly what he says.
He says stroking, yeah.
He says stroking violence.
Yeah. So he just misread
it. This is later in the speech where he's starting to fall apart. He's only really good for a solid 10 minutes, and then it just deteriorates. He's slurring during that whole clip.
Did you notice that he can do, you nailed it. I see him do 12 minutes, then I think they hit the button, inject him with something, and he's doing 24 minutes. That's his gig. He can do 2 times 12. They can hit him up with a double shot. Right,
time release capsule.
Time release capsule, or I don't know what they got, but they got some mechanism, and they can keep them going for 2. I think they should limit it to 12 minutes. Obviously, I think that's much smarter if they do that.
He may have one of those remote control little injector things that the diabetics real bad, insulin injector.
Yes, yes,
it's possible.
Yeah, who knows? On his arm, you could have that on your arm. A smartphone could control it. Lots of people have that.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of ISOs I want to run by you.
Okay. What do we have in the ISO world?
I have quite a few, actually, but I'll play them. Some of them are teasers for some. I got Biden saying burn.
Okay, let's see.
We must not burn.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I like the way he says burn. He says we must not burn. He doesn't just say it normally.
Yeah, burn is good. I like burn.
Now we have the dystopian nightmare.
Oh.
Dystopian nightmare.
I like that. I like hearing that one.
And then last we have something special.
Okay.
You get something special today.
That's kind of creepy too.
Oh, that's the one. Okay, this is the last one. This is the
Well,
clip.
Hold on. I want to hear that one again.
You get something special today. I'm going to give you the whole load today.
Yeah, okay. Yes, you have another one?
Yeah, this is Joe after the girls again.
Oh, here it is. I see it.
That's his theory. It just breaks through. That eventually, if you say it and say it and say it and say it, well, we got to demonstrate we choose truth over lies. We got to make it clear that we choose science over fiction. Over fiction. For real.
For real.
And so we got a lot of work cut out for us. And I want to start off by thanking everybody under the age of 15. We owe you big, kiddo. I don't know how you got here. But thank you.
Isn't this old?
After it's over, come up and talk to me for a minute, okay? Promise, all right? Anybody under 15, you get something special today. Because I tell you, this has got to be boring for you. But thank you.
I think that's old.
I think it is old, too. But I've never heard
the whole thing
before. So I wanted to get that little, you got something special, girls. Come on. Look at these 2 girls are embarrassed.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah.
I have Joe Biden's response. He was on MSNBC, not from the basement anymore. They've decided that they need the second set, which is upstairs in the living room with the view of the front door in the background, to show that he is allowed out, so they don't think that he's actually locked in. All of this is all done with a purpose to make sure you have the right setting. And this was his response to Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, saying that she didn't think Joe Biden should do alerts because Trump is just going to lie. Why waste your time and your intellect on him? Because he's just going to lie. And she even said, don't tell Joe. Don't tell Joe I said this. And so Andrea Mitchell tattled on Nancy and told Joe.
So what do you think about that? Would you consider not debating the president?
No. I'm going to, as long as the commission continues down the straight and narrow as they have, I'm going to debate him. Now I know for certain that they're going to, I'm going to be a fact checker on the floor while I'm debating him. In fact, but look, the one thing that's gone on so far is the vast majority, with notable exceptions, of the news media have been fact checking the things they've been saying during the convention. And it's just one lie after another. lying, one after another. But the debates are going to take place. I've been recommended to me by a number of very competent people who know their way around, including leading Republicans, that I shouldn't debate Trump unless there's a fact checker on the ground. I mean, in there in the debate saying that's true, that's not true. But look, I think everybody knows this man has a somewhat pathological tendency not to tell the truth.
I think what's going to happen, if I were the Democratic Party and the Joe Biden campaign and the media, most of the media, I would say, you know what, Joe, you keep that message going. Well, it really needs a fact checker, and I'll fact check it. But no, Joe, we're going to say that we, the media, we insist. And that's what the problem is going to be. The media will jump in and say, we demand a fact checker, and they should be able to interrupt whenever Trump tells a lie. That's the only way this can go.
Well, as long as they do the same thing with Biden, he's full of shit, too.
Yeah, and how will that go, that fact-checking? How will that go? This is how the debate will go. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the debate. Stop, fact-check, false! It'll go nowhere.
Fact-check, false.
It'll go nowhere. It's doomed and destined to fail.
Well, I said there won't be one at the beginning.
Yeah,
somebody had a nice theory they sent in. One of our producers said Biden will get COVID like in September, just before the debates, and have to quarantine for 14 days or 21 days.
Second wave. Yeah.
Second wave.
Maybe. There was an interesting interview that Frau Ingrahaus had with President Trump, which aired, I think it was, maybe it was Tuesday? No, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, it was last week.
Did you see it? There was some interesting bits in there.
I saw part of it.
I thought there were two parts worth mentioning. The first one I like the most, which is who is financing Black Lives Matter. And, well, of course, I knew how the media would take it. I'm sure President Trump knew what he was saying, but I liked it.
Who do you think is pulling Biden's strings? Is it former Obama?
I'm sorry, Biden's strings.
People that are in the dark shadows, people that...
What does that mean? That sounds like conspiracy theory. Dark shadows. What is that?
People that you haven't heard of. They're people that are on the streets. They're people that are controlling the streets. We had somebody get on a plane from a certain city this weekend. And in the plane, it was almost completely loaded with thugs wearing these dark uniforms, black uniforms with gear and this and that. They're on a plane.
Where's this?
I'll tell you sometime, but it's under investigation right now. But they came from a certain city, and this person was coming to the Republican National Convention. And there were like 7 people on the plane like this person, and then a lot of people were on the plane to do big damage. They were coming
planning for Washington.
Yeah, this is all happening.
But the money is coming from somewhere.
Money is coming
how can it be
from some very stupid rich people that have no idea that if their thing ever succeeded, which it won't, they will be thrown to the wolves like you've never seen before.
I love that.
Well, let's take a listen to the same clip, but this time instead of with Laura, let's listen to how Amy Goodman handled this same exact situation. I mean, she used that clip, but she interpreted it a little differently. This clip is called QAnon.
Okay.
In an apparent nod to the far-right QAnon conspiracy theory, President Trump's claimed Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden's being secretly controlled by people in the, quote, dark shadows. Trump made the comment during an interview with Laura Ingraham on Fox News.
I don't even like to mention Biden.
But hold on, stop. First of all, that's just not true. He didn't say, let me just hear what she said, because I think she misstated there.
In an apparent nod to the far-right QAnon conspiracy theory.
Okay. No one mentioned any QAnon at all in that, but okay.
No, she's dreaming this up as a nod.
Yeah, a nod.
Trump's claimed Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden's being secretly controlled by people in the, quote, dark shadows.
Did he really say secretly controlled? No, maybe.
No, I don't think so. No. Well, she plays the quote. See if he wants to use secret. I don't think he does.
Trump made the comment during an interview with Laura Ingraham on Fox News.
I don't even like to mention Biden because he's not controlling anything.
Who do you think is pulling Biden's strings? Is it former Obama
people
officials?
That you've never heard of. people that are in the dark shadows, people that...
What does that mean? That sounds like conspiracy theory, dark shadows.
No,
what is that?
People that you haven't heard of. They're people that are on the streets. They're people that are controlling the streets. We had somebody get on a plane from a certain city this weekend, and in the plane, it was almost completely loaded with thugs wearing these dark uniforms, black uniforms with gear and this and that. They're on a plane.
Where's
I'll tell you sometime, but it's under investigation.
President Trump provided no evidence to back up his claim about thugs on planes. He initially claimed the plane was headed to the Republican National Convention. On Tuesday, he told reporters the plane was going from Washington to, quote, wherever. NBC reports Trump's claim is very similar to a conspiracy theory started in June by a man in Idaho that went viral within far-right circles on social media.
Oh, my God. How far right, Amy? Was it out the window far right? How can make it farther right? Everything's far right. Not just Trump right, far right.
She gave us a show title, though, Thugs on a Plane.
Well, then, that's a racist term.
Well, I think that's been debunked. I mean, it was a racist term like a year ago.
Mo says it's a racist term.
Mo says it's a racist term?
Thugs, yeah. It's become...
Obama's used the term numerous times.
Yes, I'm just telling you. Trump uses it all the time. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, let's not do it, it's racist. I'm saying it's just... In this case, these thugs are goons, and they probably were white. But I understand why some people think that's you can't say anything anymore. That's why we don't have ads. Thank God. But here's the point. So they control the streets. They control the thugs on the plane. I presume that he's talking about the actual activists, the agents provocateurs who are really burning and rioting and doing crazy crap. He's saying those people are being controlled. Well, the message is also being controlled. Did you know that there was a fatal shooting, black man shot by the cops in Los Angeles 2 days ago? Did you know about it?
Yeah, they've been playing it quite a bit out here.
Well, not out here. This is not, no one's been martyred. Do you know his name? Say his name.
If I think about it, I could probably...
No, you can't, because it's not being handled the same way. They're backing off. The media it's a perfect opportunity for unarmed black man killed by cops, and
they have protests out. They had protests.
I'm talking about the media. He's not a martyr. There's no Crump is not there. Al Sharpton's not there. They've shut it down. They've shut down.
Oh yeah, no, we know this is selective.
Yeah, but I want to make sure we recognize that they said the minute they come out and say, "Oh, we can't have this," then there's no more martyrs. Why isn't he a martyr? We know Blake's name. We know Floyd's name. We know Breonna Taylor's name. We don't know this guy's name. Why? Because they don't give a crap. They don't really care.
He may pick it up. It's still possible.
Okay, well, keep your eye on it. I don't think they're going to pick it up. Here's the second part. Now, this was I'm sorry?
He said they don't give a crap.
No, they don't. I don't think so. I don't think they care about black people. I really don't think so.
No, probably not.
Liars. Hypocrites.
Liars.
And this is a little longer, but I felt it was important because he did a very poor job. Trump had an opportunity to explain, to splain, based upon Frau Ingerhaus's question, to suburban housewives, I think was the literal description, why he's such a dick when he talks. And what is he doing? And what is this? Can't you just... They don't like him the way he speaks. What is he doing? What do you say? How do you help him?
Women voters. So important to reach out to them, whether you're Republican or Democrat. You have a deficit among women voters now.
Well, that's what they said last time, too.
Right. Well, let's say for the sake of argument, you have a deficit among female voters who maybe in some cases you're too aggressive, your tone or your tweets. What do you say to them directly about what you'll do in a second term?
Here's where your quote would be perfect.
Which is?
Fuck off! That would have been the best if Trump had said that. I just imagine that.
Tone or your tweets. What do you say to them directly about what you'll do in a second term?
Okay. I have to be aggressive because I'm like standing here in a sea of incompetent people, stupid people, and violent people. Very violent.
But that's the kind of language, stupid
That's
people.
okay.
A lot of women don't like
it's also
that.
Well, where are we? Oh, we're in the White House, I see. Okay. So I'm standing here in a sea of people, and we need law and order in this country, and women see that with me. You're never going to have law and order with Biden. Hey, look at Ferguson. Look what happened during that.
See, this is right here is where he goes off track, and I think it's where's Kayleigh saying, Mr. President, when you're doing this one in particular, because this is a big problem. Women.
He doesn't listen to this sort of advice. He's a freewheeling guy. I want to mention something here on this clip. Why does Laura, and maybe I'm wrong, but he's just trying to answer the question. He says, stupid people, and she stops him and she says, example, women don't like that. Women don't like you saying the word stupid. Is this true? That women, just in general, if someone uses the word stupid, oh no, don't say that. Is that really what's going on out there with the women?
No. I believe this is Ingrahouse, and I do not like that she does it. I think she wants to have sound bites that competitive media will pick up, which she got. This one, I don't know if they picked up, but she did it again when he said, people choke. It's like great golfers choke. And she purposely went in to say, well, surely you're not going to compare this to golfing. She did that because she knows. She's sitting there all whap, and she's sitting there going, oh, this is it. This is CNN and MSNBC will be playing my clip. I saw it. I know what she's doing. I don't like it. I think that's why she does that stuff.
Well, the golf, do you have that clip with the golfing choke?
No, I don't have it. No, let's continue this one.
We need law and order in this country, and women see that with me. You're never going to have law and order with Biden. Hey, look at Ferguson. Look what happened during that. People forget. Look at all of those horrible race riots you had during Obama. Ferguson's just one that comes to mind, but you had them all the time.
Well, I'm sorry. Someone in the troll room just said something very interesting. He said stupid people. Apparently, Ingraham twisted that. Let's listen again.
Male voters who maybe in some cases you're too aggressive directly about what you can turn.
Okay. I have to be aggressive because I'm like standing here in a sea of incompetent people, stupid people, and violent people. Very violent.
But that's the kind of language, stupid
that's
people.
Okay.
A lot of women don't like
it's also where are we? Oh, we're in the White House, I see.
I think what Ingrahouse did is she said, women don't like that, thinking that, I think she connected it to, when you say stupid people, you mean women. Why wouldn't, I agree with you. I don't know any woman who said that. Why can't you call someone stupid? Women don't like that. I agree. I don't think there's any such thing, really.
Well, I don't see that she twisted anything.
No, she didn't. She didn't twist it. But she did take it away from the stupid people that he's surrounded by. I like that part of his quote. Now, we continue.
One that comes to mind, but you had them all the time. Look at all of what happened with Brown and this one and that one. Look at all of the problems you had under Obama. It was a disaster. It was actually worse than anything. This is a much different situation. Again, the anarchists of Portland are different than what's going on in Chicago. Chicago can be solved. I think it's actually a little bit more difficult to solve. I think the anarchists in many ways are much more solvable. But for women, more than anything else, they want security. They want safety. They have to have safety. They talk about the suburban woman. What I did recently, I ended the regulation that provided low-income housing that mandated low-income housing.
That was Obama's rule.
That was the Obama rule. It was a disaster.
Do you think the suburbs are in danger if Biden is elected? We already know the cities are in danger, but are the suburbs in danger? Because they say that's fear-mongering on the part of Republicans.
I know the suburbs. The suburban, beautiful place. The American dream, really. They want low-income housing, and with that comes a lot of other problems, including crime. May not be nice to say, but I'll say it.
You're not saying all poor people are criminals, though.
No, I'm not saying that at all, but it does. There is a level of violence that you don't see. So you have this beautiful community in the suburbs, including women, right? Women, they want security.
Very interesting. When he says this, And I'm sure a quote from this or a clip from this will pop up somewhere. Like, what a racist prick. He's saying he wants to keep the white suburban housewives safe from the black people in the projects they want to build in their precious backyards. He unapologetically says, no, we can't have that. But interesting to see that a number of trolls right away equate suburban women to Karens. I find that interesting. As if that's now middle suburbia is now associated with douchebags. I wonder why people think
Karens
that.
are. I don't know that Karens are.
Karens are not.
Karens.
It's not even a political thing. Karen is not even political.
Karens, yeah, well, that's an interesting thing, by the way. They've done some studies showing that the Democrats all think that the Karens are all Republicans, and the Republicans think that the Karens are all Democrats.
But also somehow suburban is synonymous with white for some reason, which of course is not true, but it's become that. And maybe it's just the polarization.
I think it's because of white flight.
Yeah, sure. And there's a lot of black flight, too. Everybody moves up the chain, man. That's how it goes.
Yeah, and they get out of town. They get out of those big cities that are just rough.
Like Michelle Obama. She did the same.
Yeah.
She fled.
She's not living next to anybody that's not worth a lot of money.
No. I did have two more kind of... do you have more politics, or can we do...
Politics. I think I have a
2020
version of the choke clip from...
that would be good. Let's hear the... Because that was another typical Trumpism that I'm sure people flipped out over.
Well, let's try this. Here's a whipsaw. This is Amy in Kenosha report.
President Trump traveled to Kenosha, Wisconsin Tuesday despite fierce opposition to his visit by Wisconsin's governor, lieutenant governor, and Kenosha's mayor. Kenosha erupted in protest last week after the police shot Jacob Blake in the back 7 times at point-blank range, leaving him paralyzed. During the protest, a 17-year-old white vigilante armed with a semi-automatic rifle killed 2 protesters and injured a third. Trump has refused to condemn the killings. During his visit to Kenosha, Trump did not meet with Jacob Blake's family or directly mention his name once publicly. Trump also reiterated his recent comparison of officers who shoot people with golfers who choke under pressure.
We have to condemn the dangerous anti-police rhetoric. It's getting more and more. It's very unfair. You have some bad apples. We all know that. And those will be taken care of through the system. And nobody's going to be easy on them either. And you have people that choke. They're under tremendous, I said it yesterday, I said it last night. They're under tremendous pressure.
During his visit to Kenosha.
Oops.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting thing about that. It goes on. We can play the rest of it, but I want to make this point. This is a whipsaw because she says golfers who choke under pressure.
Yeah, he doesn't mention
that. And he never mentions golfers at all in the clip.
No. That was the Ingrafrau clip.
So she obviously had the choice of... That clip came from one of his press conferences.
Yes.
Where he never mentioned golfers. It was only on Ingraham's show that he did.
Yeah.
And so... she made the choice, or the staff made the choice, not to play Frau Ingraham.
Thank you.
For the purposes of giving her any sort of promotion.
Giving her any promotion, exactly. She had the actual quote, no, not good enough. Oh, how lame. And Frau Ingraham did it for you, Amy. She was doing it for you, okay?
Amy was refusing to be used. But meanwhile, it ends up as a whipsaw because she talks about golfers and he never says anything about golfers.
Yeah, we'll just get that one. Oops.
I don't know if she finishes up with something else.
Yeah, I'll play the last little bit
publicly. Trump also reiterated his recent comparison of officers who shoot people with golfers who choke under pressure.
By the way, she actually says reiterated, which is also a lie. He did not reiterate it. About the golfers, he reiterated
No, he
the
did
choke.
not. What he reiterated was the term choke.
Yeah, lie. Amy, you lie.
Trump also reiterated
By the way, that's our mission statement in case you don't want to read it. Basically, we listen to Amy and we just call her out when she's lying.
She's
a liar.
She's another liar.
Once publicly. Trump also reiterated his recent comparison of officers who shoot people with golfers who choke under pressure.
We have to condemn the dangerous anti-police rhetoric. It's getting more and more. It's very unfair. You have some bad apples. We all know that. And those will be taken care of through the system. And nobody's going to be easy on them either. And you have people that choke. They're under tremendous, I said it yesterday, I said it last night. They're under tremendous pressure.
During his visit to Kenosha, Trump also repeated the falsehood that he ordered the National Guard to Kenosha when, in fact, it was the state's governor. We'll go to Kenosha later in the broadcast.
Oh, brother. So she takes the technicality of, it's actually very, very dishonest what she did. The president has been saying, all they have to do is call and we can send the National Guard in. All they have to do is call and we can send the people in. And by the way, I'm reliably informed some of the National Guard that was sent into some places was more like Rangers and Special Forces. So, I think there's some real people with understanding of how to do this being slipped into the National Guard.
But this is a story that should be reported.
I got it
they
from...
can't even report on something like that. That's very interesting.
I got it from Agent Orange. He showed me...
Well, he would know.
Yes, he kind of would. Let me see, because he sent me... I think he sent me a picture of what was supposed to pass for National Guard, but apparently the picture was like either he knew the guy as Special Forces or they had some marking on their uniform, but he wouldn't say it if he didn't really think it was true.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, why don't we put a pin in it and we'll get right back to everything, including Black Lives Matter after Wave.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
And we do have a few people to thank for show one for 1274.
Yeah.
Starting with dude named Ben Jobo.
Jobo.
$133.33. And he likes to thank us for the infotainment.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Janowski's next on the list with $133. I think this is 56 times 2, is it? Well, no, that wouldn't be right.
112. 56 times 2 would be
132.
Yeah, I'm setting up for the meetup, so you're on your own for a moment here.
Brian Suchorsky in Live Oak, California. Please call out the following douchebags.
Okay.
Brian Reif.
Douchebag.
And Alex Baldwin.
Douchebag.
Okay.
Both are currently cucked in California.
Oh, noes.
This donation is 600 Brazilian reals.
Sweet.
No, this only applies. No, you're not getting a $600 donation for the reals.
No, this only works for Scandinavians and for Aussies and New Zealanders. Yeah,
they have to be part of Five Eyes,
and you have to have dollarettes. It's got to have a dollar. It's got to be a dollar. If you're not a dollar, then you don't count.
And by the way, I used to write for a Brazilian tech magazine, Info, from a great giant publisher.
You used to go there all the time.
A decade or more.
You used to go there all the time.
I was in Brazil a lot.
Yeah.
And so they started paying me in. I started working just after the Cruzeiros was discontinued, and you go get a banknote for $500,000 of them. It was worth like 50 cents. And so they went to the real. This was years ago. And the real was pegged to the dollar. So 1 real was $1.
Right.
And so they paid me in dollars because they could afford to do so. And then the real became worth, 50 cents. And then pretty soon they couldn't afford to pay me anymore.
Oh, man.
And so after about a decade, when the real fell apart, now I see, according to this guy, the real, like $100 is worth 600 reals. So it's gone down to 6-1.
Yeah.
I don't understand how these countries can't just keep the pegging going.
Well,
but they can't.
Wait until we get our digital
dollar. But at least
dollar.
It's not completely out of control.
Wait until we get our digital dollar.
Yeah, the digital dollar. Change all that.
Yep. Yep.
Thomas Getz in Dortmund, Deutschland, home of the great Pilsners. Douglas Urasco, he's $111.11.
Yes.
Douglas Urasco is $100.33. Doug, who I assume is the guy who gives out the invites, San Antonio, Texas.
No, let's see. Who is he? Let's see. He left his job in the music industry. He's moved back to his home state of he was in California, in San Francisco. He's back, and he opened a business just a month before the shutdown. Oh, boy. He did open the world's first tattoo and firearm store in San Antonio called Transfer Station. Well, man, I'll give you a jobs karma later on. Some karma to keep that going. Thanks, Doug.
Baron Ladikin, $100 from Houston, Texas. John Robinet, $100. Sir Alex Knight of the White Mountains in Nashua, New Hampshire. Happy birthday to you, he says. Andrew Panabianco in Peoria, Arizona. Happy birthday to you. And what he's done, it's a $93 donation, but they've added a 56 cents.
I like that. That's cool. A couple of people did that.
A lot of them, actually. In fact, 5. Sir Daddy Cass did it from the Love House in Richmond, Virginia, $93.56. Sir Tweed did it, $93.56. Sir Ducifer.
Oh, Rob.
Your buddy in Austin.
Well, that's not just Sir Ducifer. Sir Ducifer, Knight of the Four Strings Funk, 4 Kids, and Time Travel.
Yeah. Well.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob.
Sir Brian Tobiason, also $93.56. And then we go to Joseph Banislawski in Ackworth, Georgia, who gives you $93.20, and he needs some karma at the end. We'll give you some at the end. Now we got the $93 donors. Let's name them, name and location if we got it, including Janosch Moser, who's in Frankfurt on Main, which is in Deutschland, which is nice. We get a lot of Deutschlanders today. Yancey Summerhour in Houston, Texas. Miguel Ortiz in Irvine. Viscount J.D. Mack in Decatur, Illinois. Alex Bell, Craig Nuzzo in Warrenville, Illinois. Matthew Januszewski, sir, in Chicago. Vincent Visconti in Latana, Texas. I don't know where that is. Tommy Barnes in Tommy Barnes in Midland, Texas. We got a lot of Texans today. Mike Goff in Nanaimo, BC. Christopher Kessler in Marshfield, Wisconsin. Sir Brent in Westminster, Maryland. And he has gone to birthday list.
Yep.
Michael White in Chandler, Arizona. David Nelson in Bel Air, Texas. A lot of Texans today, and he's on the birthday list. Dame Jennifer in Charleston, South Carolina. Yes?
I said, ha. That's nice.
Alex Loesch, parts unknown. Dowlett Zanguzen in Great Britain. Sir Cal of Lavender Blossoms in Northville, Michigan.
Dowlett has might have my first human resource born today. Okay. Karma for you then.
Wow. Dame Akara of Campton Hills in St. Charles, Illinois. I thought it'd be Campton Hills, Illinois. Brian Pollock in Florissant, Missouri. John Ganotis in Fayetteville, New York. Sir Dave, our buddy stuck in Saudi Arabia. Gerald Preston in Bennington, Nebraska. Conchetta Hill in Mansfield, Ohio. Janusz Moser in Frankfurt, Deutschland. Amir Toole in Calgary, Alberta. David Keys in Riverside, California. Another birthday for Danny Shaddix, parts unknown. Baron Guy Boazzi. Sir Malinowski in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Sir Christan in Blyton, Great Britain. A lot of Brits today. Sir Flynot in Medfield, Massachusetts. Joe Conti in Montreal, Quebec. Dame Ashley, Lady of the Lake in Mayfield Heights, Ohio. Happy birthday, Adam, she says. Leonard van der Meulen in Appelscha.
Leonard van der Meulen in Appelscha.
Well, anyway, he is not in this group. He is at 8426. We've left the group. But I'll tell you this, that's a lot of people, and I want to thank each and every one for helping out the show.
That's so sweet of you.
Yeah, we got more to come.
Oh, no!
Yeah, we got the 56 donors coming. Wow. Sir Kevin McLaughlin, Duke of Luna in Locust, North Carolina, 8008. Sir Herb Lamb, the Earl of Georgia, 8008. And they're all saying happy birthday.
Yes, all of them.
So they just give different amounts. They don't have to give the amount that we require. Sir Scott Talima in Oregon, Wisconsin, 7347. He's got a birthday for himself and a jobs karma. We'll put that at the end for you for a significant other. Dame, foreign lady before in Dacula, Georgia, or Dacula. Probably Dacula, another way they pronounce things down there. Sir Gott Nate and she's $73. Sir Gott Nate, 6969. Sir Groff in Wyoming, Ohio, 6180. And that's a Fibonacci number.
That's a beautiful one, yes.
And he says it's from Cincinnati, not Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
Christopher Charabarik in Cortese, Ontario. Sir Slardabartafast, keeper of the Crinkly Bits in Hope, Rhode Island.
No, he did something opposite. He did 5693. We had 9356 is 5693.
So did Christopher.
I'll take the 56s.
5693. And then Anonymous with 5656 with a happy birthday. Robert Brousseau in Pinckney, Michigan, 5654.
I think you missed Carrie Middleton in Milton.
Carrie Middleton in Milton Keynes.
Yes.
56 in the UK.
Here, I'll do these.
Actually, it's Paul Middleton from Milton Keynes. It's not Carrie came in from Paul.
All right.
Yeah, you do these, just starting with Sherry Maxim.
Yes, 56. She's from Castle Rock, Colorado. Chad Farrow from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Sir Eric V.M., Baron of the Valley in Van Nuys, California. Nicholas Hanna, 56, Mount Vernon, Ohio. Koen Monster in Rotterdam, Forever 33. He says he celebrated his birthday on the 1st of September. Sir Deep Thoughts, protector of the Backyard Farm, 56. David Wynn, Rockville Center, New York. James Johnson from Seattle, Washington. Gary Fares from Spring Valley, California. Jacob Honan in Chico, California. John Grumling in Battleman Mesa, Colorado. Sir Code Monkey, Renner, South Dakota. Eric Hoff in Edmonton, Alberta. Steeler Grumol in Carapolis, Pennsylvania. Chris Malmy, Cherry Valley, Massachusetts. Travis Nash, parts unknown in the U.S. Sir Kevin McLaughlin, Duke of Luna from Locust, North Carolina. Chris Ronald Tengsdal from Kristianstad, Norway, Jalskadai, 56, thank you. Alexander Bortok, Mountain View, California. Andy Nowley, 56, parts unknown. Gabriel Krihalmin from Anaheim, California. Theodora Dorinda Onega from Haschendorf, Austria, I believe. Ben Clement from Antwerp, Deurne. I used to fly there all the time. MWE Tuschenbroek from Heemstede, Dankjewel. Sir Neiman from Des Moines, Washington. Andrew Smith, Pineville, North Carolina. Matt Davidson, Hamlin, New York. Baroness Love and Light from Seaholme, Victoria, Australia. How's the lockdown? Give us a report. Mark Hampton from Houston, Texas. Surveilled in FEMA Region 4, Palmetto, Florida. Cason Grover, Nolensville, Tennessee. Sean Friend here in Austin. Thank you, Sean. Sir Roderhead in Anthem, Arizona. David Villadal in Parker, Colorado. Sir Quidjiboo, parts unknown. From Tenart in the Netherlands. David van der Brandt, thank you. Benjamin Roffler in Zurich, Switzerland. And those are the 56s. I feel so incredibly blessed and very birthday-y because of this. Thank you very much. It's really appreciated.
And we continue with Brian Fairley at 5510, double nickels on the dime. Paola Sausen in Hamburg, Deutschland, another Deutschlander. And that's a birthday coming up for somebody there.
Yeah,
happy birthday wish for her husband, Carl.
Yep, Karsten.
Eric Hochel in Mulrose, Deutschland.
A lot of Deutschlanders. That's so cool.
It's unbelievable.
You know why? Because we played Kennedy in Berlin. We talked about it. People wake up then. Hey, the no agenda boys are talking about us. Hello. Come, Hans. Let us send some marks to them. Some Euro marks. Danke.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Drew Bluthmann. You'd think it'd be Deutsch, but no. Greenfield, Indiana, 5093. It needs a de-douching.
Oh, we can do that.
You've been de-douched.
And he shares your birthday.
Yo!
Jacob Cockerell in Litchfield, Kentucky, with 5033 also wishes you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
And finally, we got the $50 donors. We're going to run through them, name and location, starting with Andrew Oxenham in Knoxville, Tennessee, Douglas Ingstrom, James Sharametta in Napanock, New York, Bradley Ledden, Michael Janoski in Lindora, Pennsylvania, Frank Robert Nilsson, Joseph Tisch in Pauline, South Carolina, David Beach in San Antonio, Texas, Aichi Kitagawa in San Francisco, California, and last but not least, Sir Brian Watson in Raleigh, North Carolina. I want to thank these folks for making this a big day for the No Agenda show. It'll keep us going for a while.
Yes,
for sure.
Big day for the show, big day for me.
But there's another show coming. We got to remember that.
Dvorak.org/NA. Also, of course, thank you to everybody who came in under 50. All of that is just as appreciated, especially those of you on some of our programs, recurring programs. I'd like everybody to consider that if you haven't already. And thanks again. It's very nice. 56 is a weird year. It's not really anything. But there's two things that make me feel really good about being 56. One is the birthday wishes you all gave me today. And two is knowing that Charlie Sheen shares the same birthday with me, but he's actually a year younger. So I feel like I'm doing pretty okay.
It's your birthday.
Here we go, the birthdays for September 3rd, 2020. Your list is as follows. Sir Brent, maybe celebrating today. David Nelson says happy birthday to his son Eric, who turns 29. Robert Brousseau turned 54 on August 31st. Koen Monster celebrate on the 1st. Scott Tillema on September 2nd. Yesterday, Andrew Bluthmann turns 21 today. Congratulations, Drew. Finally legal, my man. Or, yes, my man. Danny Shadix celebrates on the 5th, and Paola says happy birthday to her husband Carson and her son Emil, who turns 9, and we say happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast day in the universe.
And before we go on with the next thing, there is a make good we should probably read.
Oh, do it. What do we got?
I don't have it in front of me. I thought you might.
Yes, I do.
I will have it in front of me in about 2 seconds.
I have it, sir. Dude named Daniel. I was the first associate executive producer on Sunday, but sadly only the first half of my note was read, and I didn't get the karma I was looking for. Would it be possible to get a make good this Thursday? Sir Dude named Daniel, Knight of the Infinite Forgotten Wisdom, your humble No Agenda Meetups admin. Yes. He says, I want to thank all the wonderful producers on No Agenda Meetups who helped chip in to cover renewal costs for our domain and hosting. Yes, thank you. And who made this donation possible, which is from last week or last show. Also, thank you both for the excellent media assassination twice a week on Thursdays. As a distinguished knight of the realm, I was hoping I could get some help from the community. One of my main clients had a significant slowdown this year because of the pandemic, and I'm a bit anxious about my lineup for the rest of the year. First, could I get some dude named Ben Jobs karma with a goat twist, plus a boogity, boogity, boogity amen? Well, we certainly have a boogity, boogity, boogity amen for you. And then he goes on to say, second, I'm a freelance web and graphic designer specializing in WordPress. As I said, I'm trying to fill up my workload for the rest of the year. If anyone out there in Gitmo Nation needs print or web design or development, please reach out to me at admin@noagendameetups.com. And I should say, it's a good idea to go to noagendasocial.com. I think he's on there. That is where people do seem to be able to connect, certainly on the dude's name Ben front. And thank you very much, Sir Dude named Daniel, for all the work you've done and, of course, for your courage.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
All right, we do have one knighting to do, so let's get out some blades here. Nice birthday blade.
There you go.
Yeah, perfect. Whoa! I would like Nikolai Stepanov to step on up here. Nikolai Stepanov, Thank you very much for your support of the No Agenda Show. On the amount of $1,000 or more, you are now welcome and present here to join the round table of the No Agenda Knights and Dames. You get a name to go with that, and I pronounce you officially Sir Nick of the Black Forest, der Schwarzwald. For you, my friend, we've got Hookers and Blow, Rent Boys, and Chardonnay. Yes, we've got the vanilla fla. I'm going to throw a dollop of chocolate fla on top of it for you. Also, we've got Rubenesque Women and Rosé, Geishas and Sake. We've got pepperoni rolls and pale ales, bong hits and bourbon, sparkling cider and escorts, ginger ale and gerbils, breast milk and pablum, and of course, mutton and mead. Just head over to noagendanation.com/rings and fill out the info. You'll get your official No Agenda night ring, your sealing wax, your certificate, all sent to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much for your courage and for supporting the best podcast in the universe.
No Agenda Meetups.
Just like a party. Here's our list for meetups on the horizon. We've got tomorrow the Salt Lake City meetup. That'll be at 6 o'clock. All these are brand new ones and new listings. For the harbor in New South Wales, that will be obviously in Australia. Mama Go-To Cafe, Coffs Harbor. On Saturday, and a local 512, Austin at Willie's Joint Bar and Grill in Buda, Texas. Sir Scott Barnett of the Armory will be taking care of that. Also on Saturday, local 8008 West New York meetup. Sir Rodwolf Baron of Western New York is your organizer. Oklahoma City at 2 o'clock in Oklahoma City at the garage of South Side of Okie City. Anchorage, Alaska at 49th Street Brewing Company at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Also on Saturday, Low Country Tubing on the Edisto River in Ridgeville, South Carolina. Look at the website for all the full details. That's a Dame Jennifer extravaganza, so you know it's going to be quality. But then we've got the pig roast in South Jersey on Sunday at 5 p.m. Yes, you read it correctly, a pig roast. Medford Lakes, New Jersey. Wen Miller is organizing. On Wednesday, September 9th, Eindhoven Strijp South Meetup. 6 o'clock Central Euro Summertime in Eindhoven, the Netherlands. The first meetup in Eindhoven at the Ketelhuis in the middle of Strijp S. This is Sir Tim Goudriaan. He's the Knight of the Jit Shenanigans, who redid the entire No Agenda website with handy transcription search. Thank you very much, Sir Tim. I can't wait to hear that report. And finally, on September 9th, Wednesday, the 2020 Back Office Listening Tour. This is Eric the Shill, who's going out on the road with his kids. He's driving around kind of the mid and western parts of the country. The keeper and I are discussing maybe meeting him somewhere along the line, and he's doing meetups. And this will be at the Horn Rapids Park at the Columbia Camp. Eric the Shill organizing, of course, with the entire Shill family. And that will be in Richland, Washington on September 9th. And that's the kickoff of the tour. It's the first one at 5 o'clock. And for all of the latest meetups, go to noagendameetups.com. We have 2 reports. This is the Mo Agenda meetup, which was a combo deal. And this Mo Agenda meetup, I'm not sure where it was held. Let's find out.
Hey, Adam and Mo. We got a dozen people here in Michigan celebrating our second MoFax meetup after the Chick-fil-A one in...
I thought it was a No Agenda meetup. It says Mo Agenda. Well, now we'll just finish it. Why not?
In February. Tonight was Popeyes. We love them both. And we just wanted to remind everybody that...
Pay attention to everything, and the truth will reveal itself.
Okay. That's a different show altogether, but it was confusing. Came in late. Here is the No Agenda report from 92. This is Denver City sit-in from September 2nd, from yesterday.
In the morning, No Agenda Nation, we're here at the Denver City Park sit-in again. Another small group, but again, a great group. It's always a great group. I'm going to pass the mic around.
Sir Scott Barron of the Bikes, and I'm exhausted from putting in the work.
This is Jim from Denver in the morning.
This is Colin. Mask up, everybody.
This is Taylor, a.k.a. Tacos, and happy birthday, Adam.
Yeah, happy birthday, Adam.
Happy birthday.
We'll end it on that. Happy birthday, Adam. Next meetup, September 16th.
All right, everybody, go to noagendameetups.com. Thank you so much. It's a party.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. You want to be where you won't be
triggered or held to blame. You wanna be where everybody feels the same. It's like a party.
Yeah. It's like a party.
All right, what do we got?
Well, I have 2 Black Lives Matter things that possibly could matter.
Well, I'm interested.
Yeah, let's see what I got here. I have, 2. The first one is a Supercuts. We love us a little Supercut, and I'm not sure who put this one together. It's not an official Supercuts, but this has been going around, and I felt it was worthwhile to clip it, to broadcast it. This has been going around as a, what did you think, what did they expect would happen, I think is the title of this one. And this is mainly the media and some politicians before we got into this horrible situation on the streets of the United States. They were pretty much calling for it, and it's good to rewind the tape and review what they were saying.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look, as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Somewhat dramatized by some drums and music, but when you listen,
that is a disgusting super clip, I have to say. What these people advocating violence and then bitching and moaning about everything?
Yeah, some of them I'd forgotten about, and you listen to it like I'll punch him in the face. And today there are kids who are walking around who say, if someone's wearing a MAGA hat, it's okay to punch him in the face. And they just say that. Oh, just like it's okay because they've heard it's okay. It is.
Well, there was some guy clobbered with a brick recently that
from behind,
because he was white.
Yeah. And this clip is a head scratcher. I believe this is one of the leaders of CARE, the Council for American Islamic Relations, at the NIHAD Awards. And I'll just play it because I listened to this like, what? Okay.
That you are powerful. You can make a whole difference in 2016. You can change the reality of our time. This is the time for us as American Muslims to be in the front, not to retreat, because all of you are leaders. Your votes are your negotiating power in the year 2016. Turn your centers, Islamic centers, mosques, into registration centers for voters. Black Lives Matter is our matter. Black Lives Matter is our campaign.
Basically, you are the new black people of America. If we don't stand, you will see Muslims murdered in the streets. We are the community that staged a revolution across the world. If we could do that, why can't we have that revolution in America?
So it was confusing to me. Do you think that they were partially responsible for Black Lives Matter protest? They seem to be taking this is 2016. So we had the first round of BLM, 2015, 2016. And it's like, did they jump on the bandwagon?
I think they were just trying to co-opt.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me. But it was
got
still
nowhere.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Well, unless I see otherwise as evidence to the contrary. The problem is with the Black Lives Matter, when you look at and I should have brought that up on today's show, you look on their 13 principles, there's a lot of anti-family, anti-male, in the principles, and there's a lot of it is really contrary to Muslims' basic tenets and belief system.
Yeah.
And if you look at those principles, I mean, the Muslims aren't buying into any of it. So that was a dud, to say the least.
Yes.
I only have a couple things. I got probably one clip I could play, which is kind of interesting. I just thought it was. There's a book came out. It's a whole book. This should be like a short article, but no, an entire book about Trump's hospital visit. Back in the day,
a
couple years ago.
Yeah.
So a guy wrote a book, and the whole point of the book was to say that Pence was put on alert that Trump was going to go under anesthesia for some complicated operation. And he's had, I don't know, this book has got no legs, but it's an interesting... And Amy tells the story in such a way that it makes it very singular to her style. Book about hospital.
Yes.
By New York Times reporter Michael Schmidt claims Vice President Mike Pence was put on standby last November to take over the powers of the presidency when President Trump had to make an unannounced visit to Walter Reed Hospital. Schmidt reports there was concern Trump would need to undergo a procedure that would have required him to be anesthetized. On Tuesday, Trump responded to the claim by writing on Twitter he had not suffered a, quote, series of mini strokes. That's something Schmidt does not allege in the book. Pence says he does not recall being put on standby during the hospital visit.
Okay, I love this story for a couple of reasons. One, Pence doesn't recall. Okay. Okay. Two, I think this is a troll. I think Trump's trolling to get to say, hey, I didn't have any strokes. How about you, Joe Biden?
Oh, wow. Good one. Yeah, I'll give you, and I said, oh, wow, which is very rare.
You gave me a big oh, wow, which is, woof.
That's a good one. Yeah, I think you might be right. This is troll because she points out that no one ever accused him of this, but he's dropping it in there as though they did.
Yeah. It gets more fun as you know how it
won't
works.
help if there's no debates.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, just a quick deplatforming thing. This falls under OTG. Just wanted to mention that Google Play has been removing any app that connects to a Mastodon server, which is the federated social network with no algos. The reason, the reason is because this app can be used to connect to data sources and servers that contain hate speech. Unlike a browser, unlike a web browser, which you can't connect to any hate speech. No, they're afraid, of course. And it's really, they're taking it all down. Every single one, anything that connects to Mastodon, which is our service as well. You can use a browser fine. And also, Apple has removed Pocket Casts, the app Pocket Casts, from the Chinese App Store at the request, of course, of they call it the Cyberspace Administration of China, but we know who it is. And
CCP.
And because Pocket Cast would not remove whatever was offending China, I think I take it out of the App Store.
Epoch Times.
Yeah, well, probably. And, Apple is happy to comply. Happy to comply. Very good, Apple. We appreciate that kind of stuff.
It adds up. To get bit in the butt eventually.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, I can play one more if you want to play one more.
Let's do one more and then we'll get out of here because we're running late.
This is another one from Amy. Let's end with this 2-minute clip. This is Kaylee.
Oh,
her tirade of the week.
Oh, thank goodness! This is a great way to end a birthday show.
Yes, Chanel. Thank you, Kaylee. What is the president's position on victims, families, businesses as a result of these riots suing Democrat-run cities? Would he support them if they were to band together and do so?
I haven't spoken to him about that specifically, but certainly what you're seeing is it is Democrat cities where you're seeing all of these numbers increase. When you look at, I just noted to Yamiche, Portland, Seattle, Philadelphia, Minneapolis, Chicago, New York City, these have all seen anywhere from a 33% spike in the murder rate to a 277% increase in 1 month alone in New York City. It's appalling, and it is Democrat governors and mayors and lawlessness that they're allowing to prevail. When federal forces come in, the situation changes, and it's so interesting to me to see Democrats who once disparaged, who ignored the violence, I should say, all of a sudden caring about it. But let's not forget what they said previously. Speaker Nancy Pelosi downplaying the violence rocking U.S. cities, ignorantly saying people will do what they do. Jerry Nadler, when asked about Antifa, he said that was a myth that's being spread around Washington, D.C. It's not a myth. In fact, an Antifa individual took the life of an innocent Trump supporter in Portland. You have Rep. Ayanna Pressley saying that she wanted unrest in the streets. Chris Cuomo saying,
there you go.
Are supposed to be peaceful. I'll give you an idea, Chris. It's the Constitution. Don Lemon saying, quote, the rioting has to stop, Chris, as you know. And I know it's showing up in the polls. It's showing up in the focus groups. It's the only thing right now that's sticking. So now all of a sudden, 90 days later, I from this podium have talked about law and order. The president has talked about law and order repeatedly, but because the polling has shifted, now it's time for the Democrats to deny what they said previously and all of a sudden focus on law and order. I'll leave you with this. That's like the arsonist blaming the firefighter.
So I guess the supercuts that I played, might have been some Trump war room creation, since that's their message. I mean, if some of the same stuff she was mentioning was in that supercut.
It's possible.
There's people doing that kind of work out there. Well,
I mean, my favorite this last week, just to mention something funny, is the phony baloney clip, which went around the Mastodon server too, where this woman is supposedly interviewing Joe Biden.
Joe Biden
fell asleep and is snoring.
What made it really good was it sounded like people on the TV floor saying, "Hey man, what happened to him? Is he awake?" But what made it really bad was the transition from her to Joe Biden was so clearly edited and crap. It was too bad because it had something very good about it, which was very...
And she was acting pretty well.
Yeah,
I thought her acting was good.
Yeah.
Emmy worthy.
We need awards for memes. All right, that'll do it for the birthday celebration here on the show. But, of course, we return on Sunday with another couple hours, 3 hours at least, of jam-packed entertainment and deconstruction. We have Random Thoughts coming up right after this program on NoAgendaStream.com. End of show mixes, Chris Bergeron, Jesse Coy Nelson, Bob Hammers. We've got, I didn't get to play this one the last show, Fletcher and Carolyn. And the Flatlanders. They'll come up for you. They're all about...
We also look forward to any overflow donations for your birthday. I think it was over the top. We should definitely...
Way over the top.
Welcome more.
Thank you so much, everybody. Coming to you from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the capital of the Drone Star State, Austin, Texas, FEMA Region number 6 in the government of maps. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from Northern Silicon Valley, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We return on Sunday. Please join us right here for more of the best podcast in the universe. And until then, remember us at Dvorak.org/NA. Adios, mofos! And such.
poisoning. COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. I mean, think about it.
Corn Pop was a bad dude. Corn Pop.
The lying dog faced pony shoulder. Come on, man.
Why the hell would I take a test?
How many push-ups you want to do here, pal? I'm so forward-looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or stand with the president in debates. I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness. Come on, man.
Corn Pop was a bad dude. Corn Pop.
Gay bathhouses. Come on, man. It's all about round-the-clock sex. Get a life. Give me a little break here.
Come on, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Right? And it's an honor for me to be your president. And we appreciate you being here with us today. Right? Sudha Sundari Narayanan. That's a beautiful name. And she is a trained veterinarian. Sudha is a talented software developer, and she and her husband are raising two beautiful, wonderful children. The apples of your life, right? The apples of your life, right? A family comprised of every race, color, religion, and creed, right? United by the bonds of love, we are one people sharing one home, saluting one great American president. Granted by us and granted by me, your president. Me, God. America has helped me so much in life. You follow the rules, you obeyed the laws, right? Congratulations. It's not so easy. You went through a lot.
The news is finally out. It's bogus. That the coronavirus test could possibly be a piece of crap. Well, this is very strange.
I think it's a torture device. Just like torturing people by sticking that thing down their throat.
It's bogus. New York Times came out. When was this published? I think, yesterday. Your coronavirus test is positive. Maybe it shouldn't be. It's bogus. The usual diagnostic test may simply be too sensitive and too slow to contain the spread of the virus.
They're going to have so much egg on their face by the time this is all over that they have to get something. They got to start backing up.
It's bogus. The CDC is publishing this information on their website, and they say Table 3 shows the types of health conditions and contributing causes mentioned in conjunction with deaths involving coronavirus disease 2019. For 6% of the deaths, COVID-19 was the only cause mentioned.
Quarantine for 2 weeks.
Hey, everybody. It's Amy. Welcome to the club.
Amy Goodman.
Hey, funky beat Amy's got going on there. Who made that? Hey, everybody. Who made Hey, funky beat Amy's got going on there. Who made that?
Amy Goodman.
Who made that?
Amy Goodman.
Who made that? Who made that? Who made that?
Amy Goodman. President Donald Trump formally accepted the Republican Party's nomination Thursday night before a crowd of about 1,500 people on the South Lawn of the White House. In defiance of social distancing rules, attendees sat shoulder to shoulder with few people wearing masks.
It's a super spreader event.
Nice. Amy Goodman.
No.
They were spread.
No, with no evidence.
Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General. His wife.
Lady.
Joe Biden's wife, she, he would never do it, but she's a hell of a doctor. She's an amazing doctor.
That's the kind of first lady this Joe Biden will be.
And then all this stuff about Dr. Jill. Look, nobody in America who's got a doctorate in education is called doctor. It's not done.
Lady.
For her to keep calling herself doctor, just point out she's not a real doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's like he said lady, and then he lost his train of thought. To pick it up, he said lady again, thinking it would happen. Then he couldn't, and he said it again and again. I think he said it either 3 times or 4 times.
Lady.
That clip, which is where he goes lady. Like he sounds like Jerry Lewis.
There's certain professions that, yes, if you have a doctorate, you're called doctor. For the rest of them, you're not.
That's the kind of first lady this Jill Biden will be.
The best podcast in the universe.
Adios, mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA.
You get something special today.